Hey there, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Lands of Alaire, our 5e D&D actual play series. I'm super excited to jump into the adventure. I'm joined here by Tori and Aaron of Joined by Gaming, playing Erlon the Barbarian and Melee the Fighter, and my younger brother Tyler playing Leander the Half-Orc Paladin, and my older brother TJ playing Gilroy the Human Wizard. Last we left off, our party was swept in a grand adventure and brought far into the north towards Farrenwell's forward camp, a executioner row of sorts, where they were brought to fight off the orcish hordes that swarm down from the Algor range seasonally. There they met a wide variety of interesting characters whom will continue to appear throughout your adventures, including Captain Talir, who, with the return of his head scout, sent off our party on a dangerous mission far into orcish lands to determine the exact machinations of their evil assault. They found some pretty crazy stuff, including the bones of a massive ancient green dragon, which were being harvested by ogres and ground down into some sort of very dangerous toxic poison, which may have already made its way further south. We learned that our orcish hordes are being led by a mysterious figure called Vorkin, who does not seem to be born among the tribe, nor does he seem to be an orc, in fact. Then we began our journey back further south after the retreat of the forward camp to the nearby town of Helmtop to regather with the battalion and report what we'd found. Along with Jantel, the head scout, you guys ran down the mountains and are just now approaching Helmtop. So let's jump into it and kick off this week's adventure. Thanks for joining us, everyone. So as you make your way down the rocky path towards Helmtop, two gruff-looking guards equipped with hand axes and wooden shields see you approach, and with a quick nod towards Jantel, permit you inside, all the while mumbling something about Captain Talir. The wide, sturdy gate loudly creaking as it swings open, revealing the village of Helmtop. As you pass beyond the western gate, you take a moment to look around. All about you are gardens, a symptom of the self-contained lifestyle that allows them to live in orc territory. The town is not particularly large, a few modest thatch-roofed homes along the river, and a main road, with being the majority of the buildings within the walls. With the exception of a few particularly notable structures. You walk down the muddy main road that runs east and west through the center of town, passing by a few farmers carrying covered bushels of wheat and pushing small carts of vegetables, eventually coming across a common space that the signs mark as the Hunter's Exchange, the central marketplace of Helmtop. You're immediately hit with the smell of fish and tanning racks, and that pierces straight through the scent of the rain. Here you find a few stalls, most of which sell furs of large animals and bear, as well as, like elk and bear, as well as a stall stocking a variety of herbs, and another where a young human shaves away at an arrow shaft, with a display of finished arrows before him, each with colorful feathers attached. Just beyond this market, you see a few small warehouses lining the river, men carrying barrels and crates of goods as they load onto small river boats headed east before the river curves south out of the valley. Towards the northwestern side of town, you see a shrine. The shrine consists of a small hovel positioned in front of an old wooden statue depicting a full-figured, smiling human woman, her hands invitingly outstretched and the features of her face worn and cracked. Inside the shrine, there's a table for the table covered in bowls for small donations and offerings. A single acolyte in a green hood sits on a stool, grinding up some herbs in a mortar and pestle, and occasionally glances out into the rain, revealing long white hair. You can also see one of the only shops in town, near the exchange, with a crooked wooden sign that reads in chipped black paint, Hallen Halt's General Goods. The only respectable sized store in town as far as you can see. It has dusty windows and soot marking the sides of the front door where brackets for torches are placed. Through the front windows, you can see a menagerie of items spread out on tables and stacks of crates. Just about due north from the exchange, you see an older-looking building of simple stone design with the words Woodsman Guild engraved on the front, above the front door, two axes painted above and below the lettering. A rain-sprinkled parchment pinned to the front door says, "Adventurers wanted, fair wages for dangerous tasks." And just beyond the Woodsman's Guild, you see the very northern end of town. There's a manor of simple stone and wood design with a large slate vestibule. The tarnished green banners of Sarangar blowing in the evening breeze. A bit further down the main road past the exchange, you see a large two-story building with a colorful flowery painted sign, the Gleeful Lily. No doubt a tavern. You can see a few drunk patrons stumble out the front door, laughing and causing a ruckus, while a stable boy leads a wagon seemingly loaded with tents and crates of rations, the forward camp supplies. The tavern seems to be filled with you can see beyond its curtains the silhouettes of patrons sitting at tables and dancing. Jantel tells you that she's going to run off in that direction and state her report to the captain as she had once before. And with surprising speed, after your trek down that mountain, she sprints off and runs through the front doors of the Gleeful Lily, kind of leaving you in the center of town.
Well, this ain't so bad.
Yeah.
Seems quaint.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty nice space. You definitely get the feeling that it's a mercantile village where people just come up here and stop. No one wants to hang around for the Orcish invasion.
Well, where should we go, Erlon?
I'm starving.
Agreed. Yes.
Alright, and so you begin to trek your way towards the Gleeful Lily. Pop us on over there.
I like the sound of that, you know.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
And apparently that's where Captain Talir is, like one of the only people we know.
And so you guys begin to approach this tavern, and as you approach, you see two patrons loitering about the front door who are drunkenly bantering to each other. Do you attempt to listen in?
I suppose, yeah, can't help it.
Alright, throw your perception check.
Gilroy can help it.
Well done.
Erlon got a 19.
Erlon. Anyone else above a 15? Nope. Erlon, you overhear one of the patrons mumbling, and he goes, word down in River's End is, Jarl Morgan says there's a tax on wine coming. I just don't get it. Venera's crawling with Farrenwell's men. They got the best damn wine in the north. It's not like they drink blast redberry wine in the Golden Empire. Oh, for God's sake, where's our spine gone? Which is, you know, just some regular drunken complaining, but has a bit of an undertone. Who is this Jarl Morgoth? And the people seem to be not particularly happy with the current circumstance. You know that, obviously, this land is technically fair and well occupied, though they don't have much of a force up here. And so as you begin to approach, you pass through the doors of the tavern. There's a burst of warm air carrying the scents of wine and seasoned meats that hits you right in the nose. You find the common room to be absolutely filled to the brim. The finely crafted wooden elvish tables and chairs completely filled with locals, as well as the remnants of the regiment during the retreat. A large hearth stacked with wood gives the room a soft yellow glow. You see Zorn, Olerin Gray, and Bilberry have taken up a table in the back left corner. You also see Jantel Duskrin and Captain Talia Doralon. She's whispering to him her report of your guys' expedition. You see a few, right in front of you, that table there, there's a farmer complaining about some local legend beast that seems to have been picking at his herds. And to the right, you see Ryan Gallagher, the elf, who is here for the joy of it, who is complaining among the rest of the regiment, who seem to be listening to him only because he's more than willing to buy them drinks. Where do you guys go?
I think as Gilroy heads inside, he tucks Silas into his robe. Yeah. I don't think he wants Silas, his gazer familiar, quite out and about just yet.
Alright, so yeah, he floats on underneath your robe and attempts to conceal himself behind you.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm ready to eat and probably sit down on something that's not a rock
Yeah,
or a
definitely.
tree.
Absolutely. Most of the tables are pretty well taken up, but the bar next to Captain Talir seems to be relatively open, so scoot you guys over there.
Cool.
And as you approach, you overhear Captain Talir and Giantel speaking with a pair of half-elves who seem to own this establishment. You see the group is in mid-conversation. The half-elven woman behind the counter is very beautiful with long brown hair and green eyes. And she wears a flowing purple dress with golden and silver imprints, as well as the gold brooch of a lily flower head. She speaks up a bit. You know, we'd love to help your men, Captain, but we just don't have rooms for everyone, as well as the other patrons. And the half-elvish man standing next to her wears a purple and green doublet of very fine materials and has a clean-shaven face with spotless blonde hair and brown eyes. And quickly, he turns towards the captain and butts in. Nor do you have the coin to pay for those rooms, I'm afraid. While you stay here, I'm sorry, Captain, but I can't permit you to stay the night anywhere but the stables, it seems. And you and your men may have to plan the journey further south sooner than later, it seems. Dorlan leans back a bit, revealing he's a few drinks in, and Giantel sits quietly beside him. Seemingly, she's already given the gist of the report in just minutes. And he looks towards the half-elves and goes, "The hordes are coming within days. These aren't your average unorganized tribes like last year. Ogres march alongside them. And what's worse, some of them are trying to sneak south. Leave the valley." Behind the pair, you notice a beautiful painting of the valley in which Helmtop resides, complete with the river and Algor Range in the background. The half-elvish woman behind the counter looks up to her partner with pleading eyes. "Oh, please, Reharet, do let them stay in the stables for a few days at least. We can't doom the captain and his men to the gallows." Reharet shuffles his feet and messes with his hair for a moment and goes, "Well, I'd be far more willing to consider that if our damned shipment from Venera were here. Instead of this bickering, I would be sipping on vintage wine, making more coin than I have in months before all the merchants leave town. So much wasted gold." Then they notice your approach, and the captain turns towards you and goes, "Ah! Good to see you alive, friends. I knew you'd make it."
Ale.
"Take a seat. I'll get you a drink. What you having?"
Whatever's strongest. It's been a tough road.
All right.
None for me, sir.
Water?
Please, yes.
Fine. Anything for you?
None for me.
An ale would be nice.
I thought so. All right. He orders up the drinks. They're served to you by the half-elvish woman. Now then. Seems we need to secure a place in town for ourselves. I'm doubtful that the locals will let us set up our tents in the middle of town. Happens that most of this battalion is thieves and cutthroats. And foreigners, so we're gonna need a place to stay where they trust us, and that would be here. Sadly, Reharet is to be reluctant to give us the rooms without his wine shipment.
I don't think these people have their priorities in order.
No, they did hear Jantel's report, right?
Yes, well, they're quite willing to stay safe within the walls of Helmtop for the season. And if that forces us south to their deaths, and he leans into Reharet and goes, then so be it. Reharet goes, now I would be more than willing to give you the rooms had I have my wine. Just consider it a bargaining chip, Captain. I know you're good for it.
How far away do you think this shipment is?
Well, last it was seen entering the valley, so not more than a day, I'd say.
I doubt orcs have much use for wine, so...
No, I doubt it was the orcs. There are, bandits, cutthroats, men on the road.
Well,
I suppose that should be one of our first priorities.
yes.
And Captain Talir turns to you, Leander, as he hands you your mug of ale and goes, yeah, I would like it if you were the folk to take care of this. You're pretty much the only ones I can trust. As for Gentel, he's gonna go scouting south. Alone, with all her training, she should be able to cover more ground than any of us.
Poor Gilroy needs somewhere to stay for the night.
So then, you'll head out, try and fix this problem for us.
We just got here.
Yeah, I roll my eyes a little bit. Like, I was hoping to rest, but
Yeah. What if it's for you, Captain Talir? The greatest commander north of wherever this is.
better than being dead.
When the orcs come, you'll be glad I'm here.
Okay.
Till then, I have to keep watch over the battalion. Make sure the space is safe. Now enjoy your drinks. I'm going to be retiring to my room. He wanders off into the back. Gentel turns towards you, and she goes, well, it seems like we've got ourselves tied up in something quite huge here. Orcs journeying south already with vials of deadly poison. What are we to do? I suppose you try and take care of the local problems. I'll see if I can find them, and I'll report back to you.
We'll be here.
Good. And you see, Ryan Gallagher has noticed you take a seat at the bar and beckons towards you. Ha ha, my friends, you returned!
Yes.
Yes, your friends!
And you're here.
Yes.
Wonderful.
You
made it.
Yeah, I was in the retreat. It was, boring. It was terribly boring, but good of you to join me. You're the only interesting people in this blasted valley, it seems. Boring camp, boring retreat from an unseen enemy, boring tavern with no good wine. Listen, I'll make you a deal. If you bring me on some sort of adventure, you take your pick, as you seem so prone to fall into. I'll make sure to pay you well.
I'm going to leave his table and I'm going to go over to the corner with Zorn.
Okay. They're very happy to see you. As you approach the trio, who have a small table to themselves, you see Zorn has his hands on his face. He looks a bit worried, but even he cracks a slight smile at your approach. Bilberry pats Zorn on the back and goes, "Don't worry, buddy. We'll head out tomorrow morning. We'll find your book. It'll be all right." And Olin Gray leans in next to Zorn and goes, "Yeah, Zorn, we'll head out together. Cheer up." And when they notice your approach, yeah, they all give a little smile, beckon you over, and Zorn even perks up for a moment before taking a bite out of his meal. And Olerin speaks up to you and goes, "Hail, one of the mighty heroes. So glad to see you alive, friend. Come, have a drink with us." They offer you a seat.
I move my way over.
Okay, you don't like Zelryan to
No.
begin with.
Are you also leaving?
I just look at when he says, "Oh, you made it," and I'm just like super bloodied from the last battle. I barely made it in here. Just all right.
That's true. You were like on your last
Yeah, I
leg.
was on one hit point.
So cutting over back to Zelryan and you, does that sound reasonable to you, friend?
Sounds reasonable to me. I mean, if wine's what you're looking for, apparently that's what we're after as well.
A wine retrieval adventure. I was thinking more something like slaying evil creatures and the glory of combat. I don't want to ride out, grab a wagon, and ride back in.
Well, I did hear something of a beast stalking some local prey.
Oh, that lowly farmer. I don't think he's speaking the truth.
Do
We'll
tell-
get back to you.
And with a wander off, yeah. And then
He hasn't shown any like magical abilities or anything yet.
Olrin determined he's a trained swordsman,
Right.
formally trained, probably by a knight in a courtyard. He doesn't seem to have ever used his sword, and his armor has not a single scratch. So,
But mostly just a rich, boisterous, troublesome elf.
yeah, and
I like that.
a bit naive.
Yeah. Okay.
Gentel turns towards you, Leander, as you finish your mug, and says, "Tell your friends I'll be off. and it may be a few days more before I see you, but the time will come.
We'll try and figure some stuff out here, and we'll be ready for you.
Good.
Be it good or bad.
I expect the worst. She runs off with that incredible speed that she has. She sprints on out, blowing past a few of these patrons, knocking over a drink of that farmer over there. And but she runs straight out and heads her way south. As for you guys who, once you make your way over to, Zorn and those folk, and good to see you're alive too, friend, says Olerin. You, much tougher than I thought.
Oh, it was quite a scrape.
Well, there was some madness as we made the retreat. It was so fast, Captain Talir, in the middle of the night. Pack up, run on down south to Helmtop. I can't say I'm complaining, but poor Zorn over here dropped his spellbook, and when he had wandered off the path, there was a group of gnolls, it seems. Terrible creatures. It would be much appreciated if you could try and find that for him. Zorn looks up, and he has a bit of tears running down his face. He goes, my life's work, just in the hands of those filthy gnolls. And he pulls at his hair a bit.
I know how that feels. We were conscripted by the Farinwellians. They took my spellbook. I wasn't sure if I'd ever get it back.
It was the means of my freedom. It means so much to me. Sadly, Captain Talir is keeping me in the battalion, but if you could find it and retrieve it for me, I wouldn't even know how to thank you, but I would try my best.
I think we can do that.
Yeah, freedom is very important, so we'll definitely make sure to give that back to you, friend.
Much appreciated. You know, you folks are some of the most trustworthy I've ever met, and I've only known you for like a day.
We just have this aura about us.
Seems so. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Seems there's a lot going on around Helmtop, and I hope this doesn't get in the way.
I think it's as important as anything else we're doing at the moment.
Much appreciated. And you really see in that moment a gleam of hope in his eyes, and kind of a realization that, like, maybe there are people out there who can care for him. Like, he's literally never had a friend.
Yeah.
Bilberry and Olerin, however, they're quickly becoming a trio.
Yeah.
They seem to have each other's backs and stuff. And Bilberry looks up and goes, yeah, and when the orcs come, we'll be there with you. Or, we'll try.
Olerin was the young kid, right?
Yeah, Olerin is a farm boy, and now seeing as he's out of the wagon and stuff, and sitting among the rest of the regiment and his group here, you see he's a pretty big dude. He's like 6'4", a farm boy who has definitely worked the fields and has the muscle mass to show it. He's just never been in a fight.
Right.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad to see him here at
Yeah, glad he's
Helmtop.
safe.
I was like worried about him.
you were pretty concerned they would give you the first to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yeah, they pick away at their bread and cheese and stuff, and so then I'm guessing, Zorn speaks up, I'm guessing Captain Talir kind of gave you free reign over what you can do here while we sit about and wait for his next orders.
He told us to find some wine for the tavern keep.
And hearing those half-elves over there complain about it quite a bit. Yeah. They actually seem like good folk. They just want to make sure they make their money before the orcs come.
Why bother?
Yeah.
Well, from what I've gathered, a lot of merchants come up, stay in Helmtop for a week or so before the orcs come to get the best pickings of furs from that season, and then make their way south as quick as they can. And during that time, it's pretty profitable.
Well, I wish him well, I suppose.
Sorry, building as we made our way in. What was it called, Bilberry? You've been around here. Bilberry speaks up for a moment and goes, the Woodsman's Guild, or something of the sort. They're a fine group of folk. They're local rangers and wild men who like to take care of problems for good coin. I'd advise looking over there. Probably a lot of leads.
Be glad to check out folks similar to myself. So
And they eat away and continue to discussing. Zorn doesn't seem so preoccupied with his missing book anymore. More reassured that at least someone's able to look into it. And they're just kind of, passing the time before they're sent off to battle.
Speaking of folks like you, Ulrin, well, what are folks like you?
well, I mean, my mother is a human, lives in the north. I'm a part of the tribe of the Silver Horn, and I am also delegated to elves to the west. On my father's side, called Yildrin is the name of our sanctuary there.
Sounds complicated.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated.
And so you, a half elf,
Mhm.
you how did that come about?
Well, I mean, with the
I
encroaching...
don't need the details.
With the encroaching Farrenwellians, or at least their plans at the time, they could tell that there was a machine moving north, and it was more out of necessity for our ways of life to continue that few families were joined together as allies.
Interesting.
Damn those Farrenwellians, goes on. Did they get to you?
That's why I'm here. They caught me off guard one night.
Sorry to hear it. I hope you get to return to your family someday.
Thank you.
Well, I suppose the Woodsman's Guild is next on the list.
Next.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, is there anything else you'd like to do in tavern?
I think I'd like to talk to the barkeep, maybe?
Sure. Harriet and his wife.
Harriet, yeah. I think, Gilroy, pulls up a stool and just gives a nod to Harriet and, does that?
Lyra is her name.
Lyra.
Yep.
To Lyra, I guess. Then, gives her a sort of knowing nod, got a couple questions.
Yes, can I help you?
Is the bar often this lively?
During these weeks, certainly. The moment that the forward camp brings word that the orcs might be approaching is when a lot of merchants come to town to get the last and best pickings of the fur that they can. And then they quickly make their way south. Otherwise they get trapped up here for the season. It's actually quite an opportune time for us. It's how we've kept this tavern afloat.
How many residents of Helmtop are there? Permanent?
About 500. But we have the means of supporting up to a few thousand. And we do so seasonally.
Do you think you could tell me about any local persons of interest? Maybe people showing some promise?
Let me think for a moment. There is Yetherin. She's a priestess of Shanti. I don't know if that's the promise you're looking for, but she is quite a great healer and more than proficient at keeping us well fed and safe from outside threats. At least she was. In recent years, she found herself more often sitting on her stool and tending to the shrine. Otherwise, no, I think the battalion you have here is some of the more interesting folk I've seen in some time.
We are a motley crew.
Someone who looked a lot like you came in about a week ago. Said many of the same things you just did. And he was looking for peculiar things. Well, who are you?
I don't know that that's important. I'm just a conscript of Farrenwell, I guess, now.
And Harriet leans in. He's been cleaning mugs and tending to other patrons and goes, a wealthy one, I hope. Or maybe useful. He was an interesting folk, though, wearing those same robes and made his way on up here to look for items of interest, he said.
I wouldn't doubt it. When did you see him?
It's about a week ago, yeah. I can't exactly remember, 7 or 8 days ago, but, yeah, no, it definitely piqued my interest. Gilroy starts down.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I mean, we can move from that if you want. It's good. A
Sure.
good bit of lead.
Well, and so you guys gather, and you've determined you're going to the Woodsman's Guild. You're going to see what that's all about.
Do you think there's anything we can talk Zelryan into? Like, maybe
Go do this for us?
Like, I hear there's some bandits out. If you come across some wine, bring it back or something like that.
I'm sure we could attempt to, yeah. I mean, Gilroy's into that idea.
So do you
Leander-
walk on over to Zelryan?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna try to convince Zelryan to
All right.
get the wine so that the battalion has a place to stay.
He, so you walk on over, and he looks up and he goes, Mayless!
Melee.
How you doing?
Still looking for a job?
Adventure!
How did you feel about fighting some bandits?
Yeah, no, that's exactly up my alley.
Are you sure? I mean, a couple thieves might be more than you can handle.
Roll a persuasion check.
That is smooth right there.
So what do I?
If you don't have proficiency in persuasion, just add your charisma.
Yes.
15.
And he looks at you and he goes, actually, you look like you fought quite a few bandits or something of the like. If you can do it, I can. Yes, I'll... well, would you come with me at least?
Oh, you can't. Well, if you really think you need the help, if you can't do it on your own, I'm sure we can probably get
I just don't want to
Ulren
die.
or someone.
I'd rather see the adventure and live to write about it. And well, I'm afraid that Bertha, my cook, is not very good with a sword. So your backup would be much appreciated. And he kind of turns the tables on you like he always intended to do this. Yes,
Right.
no, whenever you intend to set out, I will valiantly join the group.
You know, I'm not that attached to it, so I'm just gonna shrug and say, well, if you don't think you're up for the job, and I'm just gonna walk right away towards Gilroy.
He's wagging a finger at you. You will see me there. And so, with that exchange,
G-Melee, that was a smart move. Playing to his ego like that.
I will scoot us on over to the Woodsman's Guild. It's actually this space here. So this map may come in good use later when we don't use just one space. So a hooded man, as you walk down the street towards the Woodsman's Guild to the north, curving up that road, a man with a long dark beard and a long sword on his back emerges from the door of the building that you're approaching, and he's stuffing a small bag of gold into his pocket, and wordlessly makes his way past you east towards the Gleeful Lily, where he's more than excited to spend his well-earned money. And as you enter the Woodsman's Guild, you see the walls are adorned with trophies. Monstrous bear and wolf heads, and even the mounted head of a white dragon wormling. It's faded, and its faded, unblinking eyes are gazing towards the cold, weathered stone floor. In the middle of the room, there's a long table, at the end of which sits a large, middle-aged human with dark blonde hair, and the scars of some animal scratch down the hand he's currently writing with. He's wearing leather armor, has a longbow leaning on the table beside him, and he looks up from a bunch of paperwork. Fair and well conscripts, eh? New ones, too. He stands up, scanning the group for a moment.
Unfortunately.
Well, might be good news for us. There's a lot of problems around town. Could use some strong folk to take care of them.
So we've been finding out. It's quite a lot of happenings for such a small town.
Well, funnily enough, the orcs aren't our major problem. The walls do a good job of that, but well, there's some things that the Woodsman Guild takes care of. Like dangerous creatures in the farmland, and sometimes it's digging latrines, but you don't look like the type for that. Let me look at the more dangerous stuff. And he starts shuffling through the paperwork. The name's Garen Brown, by the way. If you're looking to do some good around here, there's a few things. Maybe you could, lend a hand with the more serious stuff. And he reaches into a drawer. He's just been, like, shuffling through all these parchments. Here we go. You can make yourself useful before the orcs come. And we'll have the appreciation of Helmtop. And you see behind him now quite the stack of gold on the tables, all allocated into individual bags and stuff, ready to be distributed at the completion of said tasks. Now then, before the orcs come, there's a farmer, Barden Duer. He's claims the blue-eyed beast. Got some of his sheep. And then there's a request by Etherin, the acolyte of Shanti. And she says there's a small shrine out in the forest. And it's been desecrated by gnolls. It sounds up your alley as well. And finally, the gleeful Lily. He pulls out another parchment. They have a request in for the recovery of their wine. It's 750 gold. Good pay.
Quite a sum.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the workings of the Woodsman's Guild. You see, we take a little bit of tax on fur trade. Manage to put together the sum needed to convince adventurers to try and solve our problems.
Do you have any more information on the beast attacking the farmer? I've heard multiple angles of that story, it seems now. Somebody thinks it's a lie. Do you know what type of...
I think it's true. It looks like a big wolf. Blue eyes, white fur. Very dangerous. Picks away at what few farms and herds we have. A lot of our food comes from inside the walls in our gardens, but it seems to be really picking away at our important feeding, so that's what I know anyway. Speak with Barden. He'll know more.
I will.
I think there's a ward of, when he flips through, 500 gold, I see.
It's quite a bit for that as well, for one beast.
Notorious beast. In fact, the legend, the history of it goes back a few decades, so definitely not your average wolf.
Make a nice prize among the others here.
Very much so. I look forward to the day its head is hung.
So is Barden in here, or he's?
Barden's back at the Gleeful Lily,
Okay.
but we can, cut over to that.
We got some leads.
Yep.
We get more information.
Well, you're there, and you find her at her shrine. She's probably got more info on the gnolls. What she wants done there. And, I'm sure you've heard more than enough from Lyra and Raharid.
Yeah, it seems to be the big problem around town.
Yeah. Well, they hold a lot of local goodwill there. They're good folk. Take in those who need it. It's just, it seems they haven't had quite the season they're looking for at the tavern. Now they're desperate to make up the difference. I wouldn't blame them for it. Now then, those are the local listings. And he takes his seat. Anything more?
I think it gives us a good place to start.
Excellent. Yes, 500 gold for the blue-eyed beast. 400 gold for clearing the shrine, though I am certain Etherin will be very generous beyond that. And 750 for retrieving the wine.
Well, it seems like there's a bit that needs doing.
And you will want the folks to do it.
It'd be nice if we got the peace of mind of somewhere to stay,
It's true.
other than stables.
I'm totally fine with stables. I don't know what you're all so worried about.
But this blue-eyed beast sounds...
Zorn's counting on us to get his book back.
Which the gnolls are connected to, and it's a shrine. I feel obligated. These all seem like worthy tasks.
Has the blue-eyed beast taken anybody's life, or just the livestock?
Oh, no, just a livestock as far as I've heard, though folk who confront him definitely get a good slash.
Well, I don't like the idea of gnolls being in the possession of magics that spells danger
Ooh.
for everybody, and if this beast hasn't taken anybody, it seems to be just going after its normal prey, then I think we should focus on helping our friend and preventing the town from another potential disaster.
Alright. For Zorn.
Knoll hunt!
Yeah.
Well chosen.
I think, Gilroy, like, as we're leaving or whatever, Gilroy's like, Erlon, you seemed right at home there.
Yeah, these are my people. Although that wormling, that's very impressive. I definitely want to.
It was quite the battle.
Did you take it down?
No, it was my father. He established the Woodsman's Guild back in the day. This one here actually was the catalyst for that. Picked away at too many herds, too many farmers. We had to make an organization to keep our people safe. And it's worked pretty well for decades now.
He's a good man. You should be proud of your father.
I am.
Anybody from your home ever taken down a wormling?
Oh, you know, we have many storied scholars. Fortunately, I don't know much of my home, but of my school, yeah, of course. Those guys do great feats all the time.
Roll of the set. No, I'm kidding.
We're super great to everybody all the time.
Yeah.
All right.
I believe it.
So do you guys head on off towards the shrine?
I
Yeah,
I think
suppose,
so.
yeah. I mean, we don't really even need to talk to...
No, you could speak with Theron if you'd like.
No, it'd be cool if we just roll up like, hey, solve your problem.
Sorry.
I think it's best to just go with good news rather than ask about bad news.
All right, I will flick us on over there.
Walls are making me feel itchy anyway.
How's the position? Oh, not terrible. Oh, there we go. Alright, so you follow the main road south for about an hour through the valley. The sun is still up, though it is definitely later dusk by the time that you pass by some patches of farmland and turn into the deep woods once again. Though the trail you follow is eventually lost, which would prompt a survival check. If anyone would like to try.
Yeah, I just launch right into hunter mode as soon as I'm out here.
Exactly.
Now that I'm not conscripted or in a rush, I'm like, you guys get to see me in my full element.
Right.
Right.
Alright, so
Yeah, that's true. We're
survival, only a 6, so a little eager.
Eagerly, you... Oh, okay. Well, you stumble into a bramble patch in attempting to find the new trail, and you're going to be taking 1 point of piercing damage. But...
Want me to clear that up for you?
You grit through it.
No. I'm just getting started. Just a warm up.
And you don't let your friends in know that they in the know that was something you had to grit through.
I thought I saw something over here. I thought I should check it out.
You see there's no thorns in his foot. Yeah. But you do eventually find your way downhill across a stream, and it's clear and shallow, and to an ancient-looking path through the trees. And that is where we begin there. You wanna make your way down the path?
I suppose so.
I'm gonna pull out my bow.
This is, this is our current formation. Would you guys like to change anything about that, or?
I'd say it's
I
alright.
think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move us on up as a group. Would you like to? Those guys are not at the ready. So there's some gnolls in front of you. But they are not particularly perceptive at the moment. How's that angle looking? Yeah, you guys. You can see them.
There's 3 of them?
3 of them in that group, yeah.
Okay.
How are they looking?
They are looking quite lively.
Big, beefy hyena men?
Exactly.
Right.
With big gnashing jaws, covered in tattered leathers, and the like.
Right.
Practically
stuff.
smell them from here.
So, I'd say one of you could get the jump on them if you wanted to attempt to.
If I could try to stealth into the trees and use my Mask of the Wild ability
Sure.
to be obscured.
Absolutely.
All right.
So I'll move you on up forward towards this way.
Yeah.
And yeah, throw a stealth check.
All right. A 3.
Aaron, you need some new dice.
And with a snap of a twig, our gnolls are quite alarmed, and I suppose I need everyone to roll initiative.
Leander could have done that.
Guys, I have them distracted.
Wow. Leander
Not having much luck in the bushes today.
Erla.
That wasn't even a roll.
It just kind of
It just
fell
slid,
onto
yeah.
that, yeah.
Alright,
Should
6.
grab an extra.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
So we've got.
If it will relieve you of
Yeah.
this curse. Let me just get everyone in on the turn order real quick. And let me know what you got, Erlon.
I got a 6.
This party not gonna last long at this rate. Leander.
16.
Not bad.
Yeah, for Leander, that's pretty good.
Melee.
16.
Nice. You will be going first because you have a higher dex.
Yeah.
And Gilroy.
A 6.
Oh,
My man.
Yeah. I'm like walking over to Earl. I'm like, you alright, man?
16, 16, 6, 6.
And the gnolls got an 11. So,
Alright.
Right in the middle.
that leaves us
Works
with
pretty
Melee
good.
first. Melee, you can move up a bit or just, well, Leander's kind of in your way.
You know me.
I'm gonna move just enough so I have a clear shot of the one in the front.
So kind of up in towards the beginning of this path off of the riverside. And yeah, no, that one in the front is definitely a target for you.
Is that right?
Yep.
Alright, 16.
16 definitely hits, yeah. So you can roll your damage. Yep, D8.
Plus dex.
Plus dex.
So 9.
A 9, okay. Nice, that's some pretty decent damage for sure. The arrow goes flying and sinks into his chest. And yeah, he seems to howl out from it. And gnashes away with his jaws, so he's going to take it. -9. Oh, they are tougher than orcs, you see.
I was gonna say, I'd hate. I don't want to know what like a fight between gnolls and orcs looks like. That'd be.
Thing is, the orcs tend to outnumber them.
Right.
Though that is a natural clash that happens here, like,
Yeah.
pretty often. Though, funnily enough, it's kind of put into your mind that the orcs are like a force of nature around here. They're expected, there's nothing
Yeah.
we can do about
They
it.
roll through the
Gnolls
valley.
are an evil invasion. Like, they're not from around here. It's a
Yeah.
bad thing. So, Leander.
Right. I'll run up to that gnoll that just got smacked with an arrow.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, that worked out pretty well. Yep.
And slash him with my longsword.
Okay.
21 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And 6 damage.
6 damage. Alright. Yeah, no, you slash on into him, bringing your sword down. He has taken a decent amount of punishment. And, yeah, still he stands.
Bang.
Which brings us to the gnolls, who are going to surround you.
As they do.
Yeah, they just swarm up. That one jumps on the rock and jumps down at you. And 3 attacks.
Yep.
A 17.
No.
A 19.
Yes.
And a 9.
No.
So, Leander, you are going to be taking 8 points of slashing damage as he brings down a rusted short sword on you. Which brings us to Erlon.
Yeah, after seeing Leander immediately get surrounded, I put my bow on my back, pull out my great sword, and charge in.
Charge on in.
Yeah.
You're going for the one furthest right?
Yes.
Seems like a natural target.
Yeah.
1,
Try to
2,
break them up a little bit
3,
from him.
4, 5. Boom.
All right. That is an 8.
I'm afraid they were focused in on you at first, and he dodges out of your slash of the greatsword. which brings us to Gilroy.
All right, I think I will look to Melee. Here we are once again, and cast Magic Missile from my staff
Nice.
towards the injured knoll.
Definitely.
So what was the deal there?
You actually roll 1d4.
Yeah,
and
I knew there was a change. in
what spell
rolls.
level?
Yeah, I think first.
First, okay.
So it's 1d4, right? And then,
Yep, and then that is...
multiply it by 3 and then add the 3.
Yep.
So it's 9, 12 damage.
Wow. Yeah, no, that definitely takes down a knoll.
I'm so
Boom.
proud of you.
I'm still learning, figuring this all out.
So that one in the back falls dead from the concussive force of those magic missiles. And that brings us to Melee. They're kind of in the middle of something
Yes.
now, yeah. I would put you at disadvantage if you attempted to make that particular shot, though you could probably find a different angle. Moving to the left towards the tree line or something.
Yes, that's where I want to go.
Alright. Like here?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, no, that would give you a pretty straight target to that
Yeah.
knoll
Oh,
that's
yeah.
beside Leander.
Knolls are big.
Yeah, no, they're like, when they stand up straight, they're like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
So-
They're always like...
yeah, they're always hunched over, though. Alright,
Kinda
roll
like
your
me.
attack. 11. The armor of this knoll, it was just enough to take that kind of arrow. It sinks into him, but with only superficial damage. Which brings us to Leander. Leander, they came upon you fast.
Man, these guys are mean.
Yes, they are.
At least there's only 3 of them now.
I'm not doing anything over here.
Right, guys? So, after seeing that knoll get pounded with some magic missiles, I'll switch over to the one Melee just took a shot at to my left.
Definitely.
And I'll,
Swing at him.
yeah,
Okay,
try and stab at him.
bring it.
Ooh, 25.
Yeah, good rolls for Leander.
I know, I wish I was you, Melee, or it'd be a crit.
Spread them around, man.
Yeah, 10 damage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that shanks straight into his chest with that lunge, and yeah, he is badly injured by that attack. Ah!
Yeah.
Which brings us to the Knolls, who are going to attempt some pack tactics on you this time. That one that you shanked into dodges down quickly, and the one to your right slashes out at you with a 21 and an 18.
Yep.
Both hit you?
Yeah.
Oh, gee. That's going to be 6 damage on the first hit,
Yep.
and 5 on the next one. So 11 in total. And you see that when fighting next to each other,
Oh, yeah.
if they're in the right positions, they're really proficient at getting the hits in. Which brings us from those baddies, you also see up the road, charging down your way, though they don't quite make it to you, is 2 more Knolls. One wielding a large, heavy iron warhammer.
Leander probably isn't even getting hit much, but he's just getting beaten down,
Yeah.
with his shield up.
Well, that last attack
Probably,
managed to,
yeah.
sneak between your armor. But alright, which brings us from the Knolls to Erlon.
Alright, so I see the 2 Knolls charging down now. I look at Leander. I get really frustrated. I take a tighter grip of my sword. Put it high in the air, call out to my ancestors, and go into a rage.
Alright, and yes, the winds start howling a little bit right as you do this, and you feel inspired, and bring down your sword. So what's the attack?
I will say, too, I ended up taking the Pact of the Ancestors, so
Right.
we're all noticing for the first time now with the wind blowing. A figure made of either smoke or light or something appears next to me, and I look just as surprised, but also in rage.
Yeah, it's this kind of ghostly visage, kind of hardly capable of making it out in the dusklight, but it looks, not as you would picture a ghost, well-defined and stuff. It kind of has this natural, misty look to it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring it down on him.
No, it looks much like a human.
So that is going to be an 11.
He dodges! And your ancestor frowns upon you! No. Which brings us to Gilroy.
I'm so sorry, Leander.
So there's 2 engaged with Leander and Erlon, and
Yeah,
2
I'll
coming
get
down
rid
the
of our
path.
X'd out one
Yeah.
there.
And Leander's pretty hurt.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
Okay. I mean, not that I can heal him, but I know some. Alright, I think I'll run up to...
Tactical decisions.
Yeah, I know. Alright, so I think I'll run up next to Melee.
Okay. Sticking together.
Yeah, don't leave me.
I hired you to protect me!
And can I hit that one in the far back, coming down the fork of the road?
Yeah, no, you could.
I mean, it's definitely within range,
yes.
just like line of sight wise.
Yeah, no, those rocks aren't they're like 3 feet
Okay.
tall. Like we established, knolls are very tall. So.
Okay, and I will cast Firebolt.
Okay.
My go-to.
Oh,
With a 23.
Yeah, definitely. Focuses in. You get to see Gilroy might have a hang of this now. For how much?
4. That's not really a roll. 5 damage.
That's decent.
Chipping away at it.
Better than we've seen in the past.
Then he looks to Melee and goes, "Who's the new guy? What is this?"
And the fire, the spittle of fire hits him right in the shoulder and burns away part of his armor, and his fur is covered in these glowing embers, and he snarls out at you. Which brings us to Melee.
Kind of ignoring everything that's happening to Erlon. I'm more concerned with the more gnolls coming down.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I'm going to try and hit the one that on the left of Leander.
Okay, yeah,
Since
focus in
he's-
on there.
He's hurting and needs.
Yeah, and you got to witness
Left
that when
people.
these things flank you, it's very dangerous. What's it come to?
15?
Yes, yeah, no,
Okay.
it's Ah!
10.
Right into its neck. You shoot that arrow and it falls.
thank
Right
goodness.
Yeah, that was right in time.
I was waiting for that, Melee. I was going to say, if I can't kill this thing in this turn, I'm going to be...
Leander, the
Hurting
one next
bad.
to you, is kind of freaking out, seeing its pack mates fall around it, and you have your opening to lunge at it.
Yeah, definitely. Swing at it. 21.
Jesus.
Leander's doing good. He's just, being a punching bag.
Yeah.
Well, he's countering the attacks. That's
yes,
all.
of course.
For max 11 damage.
Wow, yeah, very decent hit.
Yeah. Leander's feeling good.
Right, well, get ready, Leander.
Yep, I'm ready.
Actually, this one jumps down the ridge and charges at Erlon
Alright.
with a 12.
Nope.
Woo! And that one tries to retaliate against you, Leander, with a 21.
Yep.
It actually takes disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
Because of my ancestral guardian.
Oh.
If he's not attacking me,
We're going to have a good synergy
Yeah,
here.
yeah. that's-
if he's not attacking me, then
Yeah.
you get,
I'll have to figure something out. All right.
That's pretty sweet. I like this new guy.
doing better than me.
He has a very proficient swing going down on Leander, and that misty figure seems to just shift right in front of it, and it is completely deflected off to the side with a miss. This one, however, gnolls are very fast, by the way. Jumps up on top of this rock and sprints past you guys to Melee. Where he will be swinging with a 2. So a 7. No. Which brings us to Erlon.
Alright, I'm gonna swing again.
You're
Even
element
more
here.
enraged, yeah.
If Gilroy
Alright.
starts running
That
now, he
is-
might survive.
That's a 23.
Yes, absolutely.
23,
Finally.
here we go.
Finally.
Bring it down.
Oh!
Max damage. So
What?
that is 16 damage.
Against which one?
The one that just charged me.
That just charged up at
Yeah.
you?
My great sword.
Yeah, he's hardly alive. You slash that down at him, cut straight across his chest, and he just gasps out with a... and yeah, not looking so good. Which brings us from Erlon to Gilroy. This one,
Yeah, I've got this knoll in my face,
straight across the tree line, over the rocks, running up next to you, and yeah, manages to get right in front of Melei's face, yeah.
You could run.
If I disengage, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Shocking grasp or
Don't have it.
no.
Don't know that one.
Can you turn him into? Can you turn him
Never
into?
thought it would come in handy.
Yeah.
Turn him into a toad or?
Oh no! You know what I could do though? I'm gonna try it out.
Trying to give you something.
Yeah, totally. So Gilroy, sort of jumps back, and then he pokes his staff at this thing, and it has to make, and it connects, not with like great force.
No,
but,
yeah, not like a hit, but yeah.
Like a tap.
Yeah, a little bit. A little boop. Yeah, it has to make a con save.
It fails.
So it shrinks. Small size.
That is amazing.
Not so big anymore. It deals 1d4 less damage. I mean, that's all it does. But
Melee, it runs up to you, this rusted mace in hand. It slashes down in front of you. You dodge back. Gilroy pokes it with his staff, and it turns into it turns into this tiny little knoll.
Awesome.
Which brings us to Melee.
I'm gonna hit it with my short sword.
Short sword.
What?
Oh my goodness, he's so cute.
So,
15?
Yes.
15. Okay. And then
Mini Knoll.
9.
Nice.
max damage.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's badly injured by that and gives out a yelp. Yeah. Which brings us to Leander.
So hard to take it seriously.
It just doesn't feel as dangerous
Right, you just
anymore.
put your hand on its head, and, like,
Yeah.
you know. No, but Leander, seeing Erlon press the advantage there and really, like, chop that thing's arm off with that swing.
Yeah.
Probably gonna try and finish it off with this blow.
All right.
20
Yes.
for 7 damage.
Boom. Dead knoll. Well done. Now you bring down that slash, taking advantage of its reeling from Erlon's incredible hit. You manage to slash into it, finish it off.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the knolls. This one really hates you, Leander.
They do.
Yeah, he misses. The tiny knoll. I'm so excited to play him. He's gonna slash at Gilroy. With a 21.
that hits.
So he does a minus a d4 damage.
Yeah.
You want to roll that d4?
Sure.
He's gonna be doing 7 damage.
5
5 damage.
total. Yeah.
Okay.
Stubbed your toe.
Still a dangerous little dude.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
That would have, like, almost killed you a session ago.
Oh yeah, I'd be hurting.
Which brings us from the knolls to Erlon.
Alright. I'm going to swipe down on this guy.
Okay.
Backhanded swing. And that is a 14.
A 14 will hit. That is the race. You're not supposed to let people know that. But...
So that is 9 damage.
Nice, you got 9 HP left.
Perfect.
Yep, we cut him on down. He is done. Which brings us to Leander. Leander, you are no longer being swarmed by gnolls.
Is that one dead, or?
You skipped me, right?
Huh? Erlon Gilroy, my bad, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Go
Alright,
for it.
Then, so, Gilroy opens up his cloak, says, "Get him, Silas!" And he's basically gonna sort of float out lazily,
Sure.
focus those gazing eye beams towards,
What's that little guy?
yeah, and cast, Firebolt.
Okay.
8! Come on!
Silas boom, into the sky.
Every time he lets me down.
He was expecting a larger knoll.
Well, you just let him out of your robe. I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably disorienting.
He's like, yeah, his eyes are adjusting.
Probably bumped into it.
His 5 eyes.
Melee.
I'm going to hit him with my short sword again.
Silas will do something someday.
Eventually.
Nice.
Enlarge him.
22.
Yeah.
6.
Sorry.
He had 6 HP.
Melee's here
That was a
to.
perfect run, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna keep this tiny knoll. He's gonna be the one to mark out this battle. Boom. With a tiny little X.
That's great.
I love it.
Aw.
The rest of them I'll take away, but you guys reconvene.
None of them had the book on them, right?
Yeah, right.
You check their bodies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, none of these guys.
He's got a tiny book.
They
Yeah,
do
would you
have,
shrink the book?
Yeah, all their possessions shrink.
But only for like an hour, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
So you do find small dark effigies of crow skulls and the type of stuff that moles like to collect.
These dark, vile creatures. Leander's hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Someone has health potions, right?
Yeah.
well, we do have 2, don't we?
Yeah, we found 2.
Um,
That I don't think were used.
No, we didn't
No, I
use
don't
any
remember them
yet.
being used, so.
Well, I'll take 1, if that's fine with you guys. I'll pop one open and take a drink. How much?
2d4 plus 2.
2d4. So I get 6 back from that, which bring me up to 19. And then I'll give myself 10 back with lay on hands, and
Brings you to
29.
29. Nice.
Now that we're out of combat, what happens to, because my rage subsides, what happens to my ancestor?
He, seeing your performance in combat, doesn't seem to react so much. He kind of just gives you a emotionless glance, nod, and then fades away.
Okay.
Which brings your attention to the ground, Erwan, and you can see some ancient footpaths that move through here. And the fact that most folks who manage to make their way this deep into the woods turn left at this fork in the road up here.
Okay. So I let everybody know. It seems the left path is the one they've trodden the most recently.
But the gnolls did come from the right, didn't they?
Some of them.
Some of them.
Erlon hasn't been entirely trustworthy since we got out here.
It was all part of the plan. It was all a part of the plan. I distracted them for you.
I was also going to say, after we had finished clearing up those gnolls, I'd probably, grab your forearm and, give you a nod and a shake, like,
Yeah.
that could have been close.
Yeah, and then I don't know exactly what happened there. I guess my call to my ancestors actually did something. I'm gonna have to contemplate this later.
And you guys are kind of walking down this forested path during this conversation, when, surprise, surprise, you see in front of you another group of gnolls. And they are going to need some taken out, so we might as well... these ones are more at the ready. The sounds of that battle kind of rung through the forest, and I suppose we're going to need another initiative real quick.
Come on, Leander. You've been doing good so far.
There you go.
What'd you get, Erlon?
I got a 17.
17. Oh,
14.
14. Leander?
15.
15. Gilroy?
9.
9.
Oh. 4.
It is. Just small improvements.
7. Not very good on the roll.
He reacted.
Which leaves
Just about
Erlon
averagely.
first.
Alright, so do we see all of them, or do I just see the ones?
You can see those ones in the
front?
front.
Okay.
You can see this kind of ancient stone shrine through the tree lines, but not much of the detail of it yet.
Gotcha. Okay, so I think I'm going to run up to the crossroads, if I can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your movement speed is 30, right?
Yeah, I can just stay there. That's fine.
Okay, you want ready in action?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my bow, and can I fire that this turn?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely.
Alright, cool. So I'm going to aim for the one that's closest to me.
Yeah. You got very rusted metal shoulder plate. They seem to have scavenged a lot of the gear they're using. What'd you get?
Unnatural 20.
Nice, yeah, that'll hit.
Right, so that is D8. That is 3 damage.
It's something. Leander.
I'm gonna try and move. I think I can get right in front of Erlon.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get here, as far as I can see. There might be another one.
Yeah,
to do
that's
it, but
yeah. Well, next to him.
Right.
And if one of those things gets next to me, I'll swing at him.
Okay. Melee. That ridge beside you goes up about 8 feet. Same on the opposite side, so you could climb your way up there and have an angle.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
The northern one or the southern one?
Northern.
Okay. So you find yourself. I'm not gonna make you roll to get up there, but you find yourself a good foothold. Hoist yourself up here into this brush, and you have this advantageous kind of high ground. We've seen it be successful in the past.
Nice.
Yes. 26.
Yes. Damage.
11.
All right. Yeah.
Dang.
Melee.
say?
Snipe.
Yeah. When she shoots things, she shoots them in the head. Gilroy.
I suppose I'll go up on the other ridge if I
Okay.
can.
You don't have to exert yourself too much, as there's a pretty easy way right next to you. You made it to about here.
Yeah, cool. And I will cast my firebolt.
At the one melee, just
Yeah. 15.
Yeah. Yep.
8.
Nice. You kill it.
nice.
Silas, watching you, he points all of his eye stalks at you as you blast that one out of your staff. He's trying to see how you aim it. But he's learning. So you guys took that one out. This guy is going to charge on up on Erlon. This guy's going to charge on up on Leander. And one of them, up by the shrine, that's kind of taking cover behind this turned over table, has a gnarly looking longbow, which he draws and aims for melee. He's going to be shooting at disadvantage through the trees. Does an 18 hit you melee?
Yes.
You're going to be taking 6 points of piercing damage. And then Leander, one attack on you. They will not be able to use pack tactics because you are also in a pack.
Right. Yeah.
And then one, it was a 10, so no. And then one against Erlon.
I'm
With
gonna
a 16.
put disadvantage.
Ooh.
Thank you.
With an 8. So yeah, no, nicely done, guys.
That's crazy.
We're a wall.
Yeah, basically.
You also see another one charging his way on down, but we haven't quite made it yet. Which brings us to Erlon.
Alright, I'm gonna put my bow, or drop it rather, and unsheath my great sword and hack at the one in front of me.
Okay.
Wow. 9?
9 will not hit a knoll. Leander.
I'm gonna go ahead and swing at the one right in front of me. Probably pretty mad that they're, sitting inside of a holy shrine.
Absolutely.
Be it Torms or not. Chantel? Is that who it is?
Shanti.
Shanti?
Yeah.
I learned it pronounced differently.
The nature goddess Chantel.
That's how Leander says it. Chantel, right? Probably gonna try and smite this guy. 19.
19 hits.
And he's gonna use Divine Smite, which adds 2d8 damage.
Okay.
So 3d8. 10, 13 damage.
Yeah. With your sword glowing with holy power, you bring it down, and it cuts straight through this thing's armor. Yelps out, jumps back. Not quite dead, though. Which brings us to melee.
The one that ran down the path, I'm going to try that.
Okay, yeah, that seems like an opportune time to weaken him before he gets to the front.
Yeah. I have a better chance of hitting him than the one behind the table.
Yeah, he's
through
got
the
some
trees.
cover going on.
She rolled a 2.
Which equals 10 for melee.
And she got a 10! She could be target shooting and do the worst she's ever done and still hit
Just
the
as good
target.
as anyone else, yeah. Though this particular arrow flies past this one. Due to Noel's great speed as they charge towards things, you just couldn't quite get a lock on him, which takes us to Gilroy.
So there's 2 in front of the warriors, and 1 coming down the path.
Yep. Well, there's the one behind the table up here, and then there's the one running down the path.
That dude shooting at us?
Yeah, that one up there. Yeah.
Think Silas could reach him?
He can
Might be a little
move. I
far.
forget what his movement is.
He's a bit away.
Hefty, 20 feet.
yeah. Very plodding and slow. Alright, I think,
He does his best.
yeah. I'm gonna, give him a little tap on the back of his head, which is all that he is. And he'll float out above, Leander and Erlon.
Sure, yeah.
And, cast Firebolt. Which is,
Give it a go.
He does. Let's see. 14?
Yes.
Yeah!
Which one are you targeting?
The injured one.
All right.
Come on, Silas.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kills it.
Nice.
Woo!
Good job, Silas. He turns his eye stalks back at me.
Yeah, and you guys look up above you for a moment to see the strange floating orb has finally managed to make itself useful. Which brings us to the middle. Yeah, right? This one. Sprint on in. And they're both going to target Olin. Or Erlon. My bad.
I'm gonna put disadvantage on one of them.
Okay.
Probably, we'll just say this one.
It becomes regular,
Yeah.
because they're both targeting the same thing.
Oh, right.
And then... 17
Hits.
with a 6 damage. And then they immediately, seemingly more feral than the last ones you had, snap at you, that one, with its big maw. With a 19.
Yep.
And he's going to be doing 5 points of damage. So it snaps out and chomps onto your shoulder. Which brings us to the top of the round with Erlon.
Alright, again, I'm going to go into a rage as we start to get more surrounded
Oh yeah.
and call out to my ancestors. And I'm going to swing my greatsword at the one in front of me.
Alright.
And that is a 15.
Yeah.
And 14 damage.
Nice.
Man.
Nearly kill him.
When you hit super hard.
Yeah.
Leander.
I'll do just about the same thing we did back there.
Yeah.
And he swings super hard down, and I try and stab him
finish
through.
him off.
Yeah.
You guys are a good team.
There we are. 12?
Probably not how one of these. He manages to dodge back, reeling from that previous.
At least we both impose disadvantage on their attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bailey's always willing to give compliments and then immediately rescind them. This is very touchy.
You're not bad after all. Never mind.
You can run if you want.
Well, melee.
That's great.
How would I get a better angle at the one behind the table?
You could go very far to the north and try and make your way through those trees. But I'd probably, it's pretty thick undergrowth to move fully.
I'll just move a little bit closer. Like, yeah. Okay.
Sure.
And I'll try and hit the one with full health next to Leander.
Okay, yeah, you just managed to slide on up, and you have the angle on that one easily from above, so.
19.
Yeah.
5.
Alright. Sinks into him. Which brings us to Gilroy.
Alright, he's going to command Silas to, again!
Show me you can do it twice!
Yeah, then we'll start talking about getting you. Oh, and that's
Yeah! Roll double damage dice.
Which is really nice for Firebolt, because it doesn't have any bonuses, but the dice is big. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go for the one from Erlon.
Okay.
68. No, 14.
14, holy crap, yeah, he disintegrates this one, like, turns a bit of him to ash. Yeah.
Yes.
Slightly. Which brings us, Gilroy to these knolls. This one, pretty desperate. A miss against Leander, and then he's going to try and chomp Erlon with a 14 at disadvantage.
Hits. Oh, he doesn't get disadvantage against me if he's attacking me.
If he imposes
I-
disadvantage.
Oh, he did? Okay, cool.
I just assume now.
That's fair.
For 3 damage, so not that bad. Which is actually 2 against you.
Yeah.
Nasty knoll bites.
The one with the bow sees you with a bow, melee, and seems intent on taking you out. With a 17 to hit,
Yeah.
he's going to be doing 5 points of damage.
Man, that guy reminds me of, what was that Uruk's name from Lord of the Rings?
It's not quite a Boromir level moment yet.
No, it's not, but just a big, scary longbow plinking arrows at people.
Yeah, that's very much so the visage he's going for.
Yeah.
Alright, which brings us to Erlon again.
Alright. I'm gonna hack down at the last one down here. Or
Okay.
is there 2? No, it's just the one.
Just that
Yep.
one, yeah. I'll clear these guys up.
Oh, it's fine. Let's see. Wow. 6. So, Erlon's doing great!
A heavy swing with a very deft dodge. Which brings us to Leander.
Yep, I'll turn my attention back to this one and try and chop him down.
Sure.
13.
13 just barely misses this guy. This one is, yeah, he's wily.
He's tenacious.
Melee.
I'm going to try to hit him.
That one right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one on the path or the? Are you
The
gonna-
one on the path, yeah.
Alright, throw your attack.
12.
This is a lucky knoll.
I'm so close to it. I should just run up and hit it. That's okay.
Yeah, shoot down at that angle. It hits right by his feet. Brings us to Gilroy.
All right. Gilroy's gonna call Silas back. That's enough for today. You little creep.
Yeah.
And Gilroy's probably like a little scared of this thing now. That it's growing more powerful by the minute. He's gonna move up like on this ridge, sort of next to those guys.
Right here?
Yeah. And he says, Bailey, check this out. And he like pretends to pull back an arrow with his quarterstaff in hand and looses it. And we'll be casting Melf's acid arrow.
Yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, 22.
Yes, no doubt.
So it's 4d4.
Okay.
Wow.
Do I roll them individually, or is it like...
No, that should be all together. 44.
Okay. Not 1d4 times 4.
Exactly. Magic missile's just weird.
Yeah. 2, 6, 9.
Nice.
So 9 damage. And then at the end of his next turn, he's going to take 2d4 damage.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, with a so this green glowing arrow forms as if you had knocked it on an invisible bow and flies out, splashes acid on this thing, which burns away its fur with this terrible smoke, and it howls out in pain. And it's gonna slash.
What do you need me for?
No, it's sort of similar, right? Like, that's kind of the sort of thing you do.
Sure.
Right, you know,
Sure.
she'll hit things silently and it'll like be a clean kill to the neck. Gilroy launches a poison arrow that like melts things as they like, you know,
Just, you know, different
Turn
strokes.
tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to say.
it's a different take on archery.
That one misses with its attacks, presuming disadvantage, because
Mhm.
one of them's gonna do that. And that one attacks you with a natural one. He hits the frickin' table in front of him. Erlon!
He's going to take that damage.
Oh, yeah.
7.
That was the last he had in him with that attack, as he dies from acid. Woo! It's a good way to go. Alright, Erlon, there's that one left up at the table there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take my whole turn to dash up there. If I don't, I'll lose my rage if I don't get hit, or if I don't hit him.
7, 8.
I gotta hit something.
I gotta hit something real hard.
Yeah, you managed to make it right on up to him with a dash. Leander.
I suppose I'll follow suit and run up on next.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. The statue's in your way, I'm afraid. Now you see that the shrine before you is constructed of ancient carved stone. Another similar statue in the center to the one that you saw back in town at the Shrine of Shanti. Except this one is further worn by the elements, with moss growing along Shanti's flowing tunic. A table for offerings before the statue lays completely overturned, its contents spilled on the ground, copper pieces, flowers, meats and vegetables, that kind of stuff. Leander, you're kind of caught up with this, statue
Right.
in the way, but that's...
It's alright. I'll just move around it next turn.
Yeah, you managed to get about this far.
Yeah.
Fine. This brings us to melee.
I'm just gonna go to the foot of the path and try and shoot with disadvantage.
Sure. Yeah, he's got very good cover there, but you may very well be able to hit him with a lucky hit. Do we know it misses already?
15?
A 15 would hit, so roll again.
Take the
Take
lower.
the lower.
Yeah. Oh, well, 19.
Okay, then no, it hits.
Okay.
He's kind of reacting to Erlon's approach, and as he reels back up, putting his bow away, you managed to get a hit in.
10.
10 damage.
Nice.
Gilroy.
Suppose we'll slide down the embankment and head towards...
dirtying your robe.
Yeah, towards the base of this...
Obviously, the worst
shrine.
part of this whole thing is that your robe's gone.
Yeah! Oh my god. You don't know how hard these are to come by.
What are you
Okay.
gonna do?
Magic missile.
Okay, nice. That's how you wrap up a fight.
Sorry, this one is 1
Just
d4.
one. Yeah. It's like the only type.
So 6, 9. 9 damage.
Dead.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's ran up there for nothing.
That's how it usually goes.
Erlon Erlon, you come up, great sword at the ready, and the thing reacts to you. Arrow in the shoulder. Falls dead.
Smash the table or something.
Melee and Gilroy down there. Pleasant wave.
Just sigh and my rage goes away. The Guardian's like,
You've not proved yourself yet.
nope.
When do you get a 40 movement speed? Because I think that's
It's coming up.
yeah. It's probably 4th level.
I think it's 4th. Yeah, 4th.
So beside the statue is the body of a man in green robes.
Hmm.
There's a purple rune imprinted on his back.
I'll take a look at him.
Yeah.
Sure. He seems to be definitely a victim of the gnolls with the way his arm has been gnawed on.
What are the runes?
Arcana.
I can do that. I can find my sheet. Okay. 13.
That's enough. It's this man studied the arcane school of illusion. Yeah, his legs and hands have been gnawed on, and his hands are outstretched towards the forest as if attempting to escape.
I'm sorry, friend.
Right. If you guys want to investigate, you can do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to try and find the book.
Yeah. It's an investigation check. You can all throw it.
Nah. Landers. Just
Nah.
looking off in the distance.
Got an 11.
Okay.
Is a spell book magical?
6 plus
Yes.
your intelligence.
Your magic?
Plus 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, okay.
I mean, well, I suppose if we don't find anything,
Yeah,
I'll use
what
it.
was the investigations come to?
I got an 11.
Okay.
6.
Nope.
It's like a 4.
3.
Yeah.
You got an 8.
You do find, you see that overturned table, all of its contents spilled onto the ground, a cup of copper and whatnot. You do find 2 crates of furs that have been left here. They look in good condition, mountain elk and whatnot. Probably worth about 100 gold apiece if you were willing to drag them back to town.
Yeah.
After searching for some time,
Yes.
Gilroy will cast Detect Magic.
All right. Yes, you do locate quickly. In one of the knoll tents, there is a. There is. Let me find the description. Spellbook in one of his packs. It's dyed purple and it has a complex circular gold rune imprinted on the front, which you know belongs to the School of Enchantment.
Nice.
You also see this rune on the ground. Funnily enough. Boom. Put that there.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also an illusion magic.
Okay. Well, would you like to investigate that real quick? We're about time for break. Do you want to do that first?
Yeah, no, let's do this real quick.
Okay.
So, and as you approach Gilroy and look about it, you see that there is no doubt that these bushes here are in fact an illusion.
Ooh.
And
So I can pass my hand right through it?
yes,
Which seems
Whoa!
the best idea, I guess.
revealing this, a way down underneath. Boom. So,
Alright.
yeah,
Leander, who's been...
the bushes and growth before you flicker slightly, and upon touch, your hand passes right through as if right through air. Within moments, the illusion disperses, revealing old, ancient stone staircase down underneath the stonework of the shrine.
Guys, I found the book, and whatever this is. And with that, we will take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. Be right back. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you're enjoying episode 2. It's been a bit of a knoll hunt thus far, but there's a lot more surprises to come. And we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the Lands of Alaire, episode 2. Thank you for joining us, guys. So glad to have you with us through the rest of this adventure. Our party finds themselves now diving underneath the Shrine of Shanti, in an attempt to discover what mysteries may lie below. but they're rolling up a short rest that they took before they endeavored down there. So Leander's at max HP. Erwan,
I'm back at max.
max HP.
Yep.
Gilroy,
Max.
max.
And I regained a second level spell
You
slot.
rolled 9.
Okay,
You
yeah.
got
The arcane recovery.
2 for
Yep.
each time for the con, so you are back at 4 plus 9, 13. So yeah, you're back at full too.
So we
Yep.
found the spell book, Zorn's spell book.
Yes.
During that short rest, can I look through it?
Flip into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see powerful evocation spells, fireball, that kind of stuff. He is an accomplished. This is all in his script, and you don't read much Orcish, do you?
No, but I could comprehend language for an hour.
Yeah. With that, you see, fireball is written in here as well as lightning bolt. Those types of.
So yeah, this is above my head.
Yeah, but not so much that you can't understand it.
No, just like.
But you know, these spells are meant for doing big damage to things, and that is what Zorn seems to have learned.
Interesting. I think.
Which
You know-
implies something when he says he picked up a spell book and then he escaped, when he only
Right.
knows how to blow stuff up because of it.
Yeah. I don't know if that would normally be taboo to look through another wizard spellbook. I think from Gilroy's school, it's probably super common.
Yeah.
Like everybody's looking at each other's spellbooks.
Absolutely.
If you get the chance, So yeah, I take that opportunity and am quite impressed, a little intrigued,
Mhm.
and definitely sort of worried, given the nature of the spells in there.
Definitely. So you guys ready to jump into this?
Oh yeah.
Cool. So you walk down the stone steps into the darkness. The cool subterranean air surrounds you. Once you reach the bottom, you find the room before you is actually well lit and inhabited. This large space up here. And it is inhabited by a strange-looking man. I'll just move you on into the middle.
Sure.
All about this room are tables that are of rotted wood. They're pushed up against the smooth stone walls, and they are covered in manuscripts, each open to depictions of ancient glyphs from a variety of civilizations. In the middle of the room, you see a large stone torus covered in ancient markings and etchings. There's a green glyph that emits a soft glow on its inner sides, and the markings are in Sylvan.
I can read that.
The markings say Fey, Shadow, Space, Align, and Movement.
Alright, and I translate that for Gilroy. See if he has any idea what this may mean.
Space, shadow, fey, align, and movement.
In considering this,
Yes.
on the eastern end of the room, you see this large pool over here.
Okay.
It's surrounded by low burning braziers that emit a purple smoke that flows along the ground across the pool. And in front of you is a middle-aged man wearing green robes with a circular rune on his back. He stands at a table covered in alchemical equipment. The rune, absolutely, represents the alchemical studies. He's mixing concoctions and looking over notes. And finally, he turns back a familiar face to you, Gilroy. A person who was in one of the grades above you, essentially, known as Nonagus Zane.
So there's Gilroy, and then there's people named like Nonagus Zane. Like,
I didn't name him at the school.
Gilroy! You've stumbled across my works.
Yes, Nonagus. Good to see you again. What brings you here?
This artifact here. It's very interesting. It's ancient, and by my studies, it appears to be connected to the outer planes. So, it's something that definitely piqued my interest. I thought Malferin might want to hear about it. Oh, right. Nice to meet you. I am Nonagus Zane, and he gives a bow.
You're seemingly have more luck than I, and your quest How long have you been studying this?
Oh, a week now. There's a lot of mysteries to it. I've just set up, but then those blasted gnolls, they entered the shrine, and there's no way for me to get out, so I've been sticking to it.
I don't really trust him that he was not found by the gnolls.
Sure.
Very wary of people. So.
Yeah, you could throw an insight check.
All right. 19. Because I rolled a natural 20. And I have a -1.
From the way he's speaking, he probably set up that illusion.
Mm-hmm.
He has actually been trapped by them, but he probably left that dude up there to die. That might have been his assistant or something. The way his body was positioned was as if he knew there was a way down. Didn't work out. But this should be interesting to you, Gilroy. And he walks on over and starts kind of running his hands on this strange Taurus that's covered in all these etchings. And he goes, this, I believe, is a very powerful ancient portal. The elves of Alaire endeavored to create such things to connect the lands of Alaire, but, well, this one seems to be tuned to the elemental plane of ooze. So here I am.
Well, it's interesting nonetheless. Do you plan on reporting back?
Yes, of course, once I can retune it, which was my intent before all the oozes came. So, Gilroy, remember how I copied some notes in evocation class?
Yes.
That's because I don't know any evocation, and I am incapable of realigning this portal. Since the oozes arrived, anyway.
What do you need? I'm here to help.
Is this really a priority right now?
Of course! Look at this thing!
It seems very dangerous, and it seems like somebody you know may have been up there, left to die. I don't think I'm not sure how I feel.
Poor
realigning
Jairus. He was a student. I've been through a few now. It's not uncommon.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Some of us are not as brave as others. But, this is important work.
Like you?
Yes, exactly like me.
Seeing that he's your friend, I look over at you now, and I'm like, how much can I actually trust Gilroy? I haven't known him for a while. We're kind of just of circumstance.
Yeah.
And
Your circumstances have changed since you hired me. There are people waiting for us.
Gilroy, you see the potential in this.
What plane are you hoping to open up to?
Well, if it was aligned to the material plane, we could use it to jump to other such portals across Alaire. It would be quite useful. Incredibly so. Like secret information, don't tell anyone useful. But with it aligned to the plane of ooze, that pool over there just keeps spawning oozes. Well, I was working in the caves further back. That's where I'd set up much of my equipment. There should be 2 toggles of some sort, and a specimen on my table. That should be the means of realigning this portal. I could offer you useful potions or something.
You guys like potions? This is important work. This could very well save lives.
do I know anything about oozes?
You could roll an intelligence check.
Okay.
If you want to help, you're on your
10.
own.
10. You know they exist, but you've never really seen one.
Okay. Do you know if they're good or bad, or is that all I can glean from that?
They're dangerous, yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't exactly know their properties, or you've heard in story.
Gotcha.
But
I'm trying to rally Leander to leave with me.
Leander.
I'm a little mad. You got me captured, did all this stuff. Now we're doing good work, and you just want to quit and stay here and help this guy. I'm not.
I'm not saying we're done, but maybe we can help him further his studies a bit.
Gilroy, regrettably, I would permit you some credit in this project, and I would report to you when I make any sort of movement on it. And for a group of want-to-be adventurers, a portal like this could be very useful.
I'm sorry. Some credit, you're useless without him.
That's totally true, but I found it. So.
This is even more dangerous than the gnolls to the town. I think you should take your research now and bring it back, but I wouldn't go any further.
What if someone else stumbles across this? This is exactly what I was sent out for. Don't deny me this. He starts ruffling through papers and pouring potions together. He's like, I'm going to make you something very useful. Just kill the oozes. Gilroy, there should be, you ever seen one of those, charged specimens? They just keep them all pronged up. They're attuned to certain planes.
Of course, yeah.
Then, yes, I need that. And the oozes got to it before I could. It should be on my table, far in the back. And if it means anything, I brought many provisions in gold. It's right back there, past the oozes.
See, if I need the credit, if I don't report back to the school with some nature, fine. So I'll pull him aside and not do this
Sure,
exactly
yeah.
in front of Nonigus. Well then, it's back to the library for me, and I can't do that anymore. After traveling with you, despite our unfortunate circumstances, I now know I was supposed to travel this world, meet new people, maybe save a few lives, and foster true potential in others.
This is incredibly dangerous. And
That's very courageous of you, Gilroy.
we can always say that you found it, but that it was destroyed. So you'll still have the credit for finding it, but I don't think this should go any further, because this is... I mean, we thought the gnolls were an issue to some ooze plane? The implications of that are...
enter the portal.
Yeah.
Just go
kill
back
the
in there.
oozes.
Yeah, they just started coming out of the pool. I didn't realize when I activated. No one goes to the plane of ooze, and don't fall in there because you'll be dissolved.
I don't know how these things work. So
It seems bad.
Yeah.
Ooze and planes. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, can I make a persuasion roll?
Against Mail?
Yeah, I mean, or we can continue to roleplay it, I guess.
Sure, no, throw it.
I think we've both given our, sort of...
Deals, it's whether or not the characters.
17.
It's pretty good, Melee. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, does she have to roll off against it?
No, fine. Fine.
And that's the thing, like...
That's very much my attitude. You're so passionate about it and just pathetic enough.
Okay. Thank you. Well, you can't have any credit, but you can't have whatever my good friend here's...
I don't want
Brewing
any
you.
credit. I'll have your back.
Okay.
Oh, it will be worth it. Totally. Don't die.
It's a little musty in here.
Yes. That's the elemental plane of ooze right there.
All right. It's lit in here?
It's
lit.
It's lit in here.
The ooze plane.
that glyph emits a bright green glow.
Right.
So can you look inside?
Super safe looking.
Do you look inside?
Leander's gonna
You peer over it. Yes, you see beyond you vast, endless liquid gel undulating, rivers of it just jumping over other rivers of it, and you do that for a moment, glancing inside of the pool, before Nonius comes up and pulls you back and goes, "You moron! You know what would happen if you fell in there.
You know what's gonna happen when I put you in there?
Whoa.
I was just looking!
What? Just kill the oozes. Bull strength sounds good for you. Give me a moment.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Let's kill some oozes.
As long as I get some booze after this endeavor.
Yes, of course.
Alright, so you guys...
What was the details of the
pool?
No, we just had to clear the Shrine of Knolls.
Well, you didn't exactly ask for any additional information.
Fair point.
Well,
On the
though,
I
bounty.
was gonna say,
You
what I
can
know.
roll a religion check.
So happy to have-
Perhaps rituals that could take place there.
Can I
Gilroy,
roll religion?
Maybe you could.
Maybe you read something about this.
You read books.
10.
10? It's not uncommon knowledge. There is a herb around here called Shanti's hair. The way to undesecrate, what's the word for that? Consecrate, right?
Yeah.
The way to consecrate a shrine after it's been desecrated is to burn some of Shanti's hair and wave it about.
So just thinking about this as we head towards the back of the room, Gilroy's like, yeah, we should probably finish the job upstairs after this.
Sounds right.
The job upstairs, as you're passing by, making your way towards the back, Nonigus turns towards you and he's like, you did kill all the gnolls, right?
As far as we know.
Uh,
Do you know how many there were?
many. More than enough for my assistant.
More than 7?
It's probably around 7.
Many, I think army or...
Not
Like-
quite an army.
Yeah.
But it can get going! And he shoves you.
Wave him off.
Yeah, alright, so I suppose we'll head in that direction.
Sure. And you see, as you pass on forward, you move into this back area, and you have this pool before you. This is clear drinking water. Nice and fine.
I'll take a drink.
Sure?
Me too.
No, it's refreshing. Not acid. And there is a space to your right and a space in front of you. Where would you like to go?
In front of us. Forward!
Yeah, Gilroy, you lead the way.
Gilroy's taking point in this one,
Okay.
because I don't agree.
Sure.
Okay, I'll switch you out.
I'm gonna say I'm very close behind Gilroy.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna leave him, like...
Lead the way, Professor.
Oh, brave Gilroy.
Gilroy's getting shit on.
We left for break and was like, MVP.
Yep.
Now it's like, what the fuck, Gilroy? What is wrong with you? Okay, yeah, I mean, I think Gilroy, naturally anyways, would take the lead because he's jazzed about this.
Okay.
He wants that credit. He wants the college off his back.
You make your way forward. And I want you to roll a perception check.
Everyone, or
Anyone who wants to.
A natural one.
Nothing going on up there.
20.
There is no ooze.
Is this plus that?
Yep.
9.
All right, you got.
I got a 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
10.
Leander, you are able to call out before it starts undulating towards you.
I said, ooh, I saw.
Boom! There he is.
See, I knew it was a good thing to look in there. Now I know what these oozes look like. I can smell them.
Roll initiative.
20.
Show up that stupid scholar.
Every dice I had. Here.
Yeah.
Sorry, camera. That is going to be an 8 for the oozes.
Oozes.
Erlon.
16.
16. Melee.
8.
8. Melee. Leander.
5.
5. Gilroy.
20. Well, I guess 19.
Boom. Which Gilroy first. Gilroy, Leander pats your back and says, "My God, that's an ooze."
That's an ooze!
I've seen them before. Once.
He says, "You're right!
30 seconds ago.
Let's kill this thing." And I roll 16 with a firebolt.
Okay. Yeah, that hits the gelatinous cube.
Gilroy was almost all too ready for this.
How much damage?
3. Fire damage.
Right, that's true. Boom. Enjoy that big old hit. Alright, which brings us to Erlon.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about oozes, but
Leave it
I
to the
don't want to
expert.
run right up front.
Probably a good call.
I can see Gilroy is practically oozing with anticipation, but
Oh, Erlon.
I'm gonna fire my bow. I'm gonna fire my bow at it, hoping it'll do something, because I don't know what oozes do. 13.
The 13 hits an ooze
Alright.
with piercing damage.
7 damage.
Okay. It is hardly reacting to this. Which brings it to the ooze. Leander, make a dexterity saving.
Oh no. 2.
Leander, it sucked right into the ooze.
Oh my god.
Is that all you do?
Nothing more.
We're so casual.
Yeah.
And Leander's like, "It's an ooze!
Like
Get
surprise.
it, guys!" And you guys are like, Leander shoots out a firebolt, Melee like slowly draws back her bow and fires it. And, Olrin does the same. I'm just like, "Get it, guys! Come on!" And then it just falls on top of
into
it.
You are going to be taking 2 points of acid damage this round. And you guys also note these little dudes coming at you. Yeah. Which brings us to melee. Slurp goes cat. Decisions.
Enlarge it. Shrink it.
It's like an ooze bikini.
Is there a chance of me hurting Leander if I try and shoot the cube? Do we know this? Do I have that information?
No. There's a chance. I'd say it's a low chance.
Okay. You're strong.
Yeah,
Tough
He's a
guy.
tough guy.
Damn.
Episode 1.
Yeah. Call back.
I'm gonna try and shoot the cube with Leander.
Okay.
21.
I don't think you can miss this cube, honestly. So yes.
6.
That little tick.
Yeah, not a lot.
Boom. Takes us from melee to Leander. Leander, you can make a strength check.
Is my head sticking out?
No, you're engulfed.
Oh.
Alright, you can bubble out some words if you want.
Swim out!
No, I'm gonna compel duel it. That's a bonus action.
I must fight myself.
Vile creature! What?
This is the best use.
Those are the last words he gets out before, his head gets, covered in the ooze.
I will divinely challenge it.
So, has to roll a wisdom saving
Oh,
throw,
man.
DC 12.
Okay. Yes, we all know how wise these things are.
Known for their wisdom.
Fail.
The oozes.
Okay, so now it's compelled to duel me.
Has to deal
On
damage.
guard!
And now I'm... Alright, now I'm submerged, so I guess I'll roll strength.
Pretty much that's the only thing you can do.
17.
Yes. Yeah, you managed to swim on out, plop yourself on the floor, and Gilroy, and pick yourself back up in ready position.
What did it feel like?
This is becoming something. Okay, Erlon.
I'm going to veer off to the side and try to halt the attack coming in from the other one.
Sure. So make your way over here.
Don't know what it is, but I'm pulling out my greatsword.
It is an ooze that does not seem to be cuboid. A more loose form to it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pull out my greatsword and just give it a weird look and 15.
Yes, that hits an ooze.
All right.
Oozes aren't known.
We're not prepared for oozes. 10 damage altogether.
Nice.
Yeah.
You cut it down pretty hard.
Nice.
It definitely reacts like you could kill it. Which brings us from Erlon to the oozes. That little ooze is going to lash out at you with a ooze tendril. With a natural 1, he will definitely be missing. Gilroy, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh. I don't know what the rules are for this. Really.
They've been bent, I'll tell you that.
18.
Oh, you succeed, yeah. This thing tries and forms itself on the right side of the wall and moves down towards you, but you dash over behind Leander for a moment and then get back into position as it withdraws, which brings us to melee.
I'm gonna try and shoot it.
Okay.
Back to melee?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, oozes to
Yeah, I'm
melee,
after
right?
the
Yeah.
ooze. 12.
12 will hit an ooze.
Oh,
They have the lowest armor class.
4.
Really nailing them. Okay. Which brings us to Leander. Arrows seem to have limited effect
Yeah.
against these creatures.
We must have
I
missed my
noticed
turn, though.
that.
I rolled a 20.
Did we at some point?
Yeah. I haven't gone since last time melee shot at her bow.
Oh,
Leander
then go
was in
ahead.
there. Okay. Alright, so, this ooze, makes this attack at me. I say, I gotta see for myself. Stick my hands inside it.
You're gonna take 1 point of acid damage.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that's burning hands.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It's not gonna make that dex check.
You make a dex save against things inside you. Okay, alright, so,
It's
sorry.
gonna get memed all over.
Yep. Sure, chat's all over it.
They're loving it.
9.
9 fire damage
Yeah.
is more significant than not. Yeah, this thing glows orange as you just burst this flame into it, and it seems like a big pocket of it melts away before it just kind of collapses in on itself. Which brings us, we did Erlon's turn because I had messed that up, and we did melee, so Leander.
Right. Well, I'm gonna keep swinging at that ooze.
Yeah,
18.
18. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
9.
You are going to be taking 3 points of acid damage. And how much damage do you do?
5.
Big slash. Okay. Leander that brings it back to Gilroy. So a little messed up, but yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Alright. Having sated his curiosity, he'll remain outside the ooze. And Firebolt definitely a hit. I rolled a 13, so.
They got the old 8 AC.
Right.
3 damage.
Ooh, wow. All right. Which brings
These
us
things have so much health.
to Orlon.
So the one that was in front of me, is that one still alive?
It is still alive.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hack at that one again.
Okay.
On that, it's a 14 base.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Okay. And 7 damage.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Just barely still standing.
Still losing. Still formed together.
Oh, yeah, horribly. Which brings us to the oozes. Leander, make a dexterity saving throw.
Seven.
Likes the taste of Leander.
I just keep backing up, and then every time I slash at it, and then it falls onto me again.
Tendril for Erlon misses. See another one creeping up behind there. And one, you feel, has managed to somehow make its way around and is at your feet, Melee, with a 17. Which is going to do 8 points of acid damage. Boom. Which is the ooze's turn. So Melee, your go.
I'm gonna use my short sword.
Yeah. Turn around and stab down at that one.
13.
Yes. Six. Leander. You make a strength saving throw.
That's not a roll now.
Suspicious.
14.
Yes, barely.
The wire did catch it right
Yeah.
between 2. It was like a 12 or a 2.
You had
Probably
managed to swim on out of that thing once again. It has a good amount of suction to it once it gets around you.
Okay, who's
Yours!
next? Okay. Jesus.
You're surprised by the suck.
Leander's just shouting like obscenities at this thing.
I will, firebolt again with an 18. I'm just trying to put this thing down, I guess. 8 damage.
Oh, that's actually pretty significant.
Yes, that's much better.
You do.
Whoa!
Whoa, not equal 16. He is very hurt. The fire damage seems to be quite effective against them, melting away their bodies.
I thought maybe.
Erlon.
My God, there's so many. I really hope there's not a dozen of them.
Oh.
Meryl Knight. Hack at the one that's still in front of me. That's gonna be 11.
Okay, yeah.
And 11 damage.
All right, make a Constitution saving throw.
That is 17.
Okay, this thing, once you get the final hit down on it,
Mhm.
explodes in ooze, which you manage to just kind of power through it, and you are going to be taking 1 point of acid damage. So really not that bad at all. But it hits your furs with a steam. It's a nasty effect that happens when these things seem to die, quote unquote. Which brings us to our oozes. He is quickly replaced by another ooze that crawls up behind him. I suppose, Leander, make a dexterity saving throw. You have divinely challenged this thing.
Now one.
You're going to be taking 9 points of acid damage.
Okay. My armor is going to be destroyed.
How are you feeling?
Scale of 1 to 10.
Bad!
This ooze behind Melee is going to lash out at you with a 12. This ooze in front of Erlon is going to lash out at you. The 19.
Hits.
5 points of acid damage. Which brings us to melee.
Use the short sword again.
Good idea.
Nice.
20. Well,
Natural?
Natural
yeah.
20.
So
Yeah.
25.
So roll 2d6 plus dexterity. You need another d6? Here we go.
So that's 9 plus.
Yep.
12.
12. 12 kills that
Nice.
ooze. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as it explodes violently.
With me inside.
Not that ooze.
Oh, not that ooze? Oh, a different ooze. That one down
14.
there.
14 is a success, so you will be taking 4 points of acid damage. This was a much more violent explosion. Could have been 8. Yeah, once you kill these things, they seem to rumble for a bit as they lose their shape and coalesce quickly and all over the place. Leander, you got the suck, and Erlon, you got attacked. All right, so that's the ooze's turn. Melee.
She just
Or
went.
was it? Oh yeah, melee. Just
Yeah,
took her
I
attack.
just-
Yeah, Leander. You gotta get out, Leander.
Toss him a rope.
18. Oh my god.
This battle, Gilroy, has been quite the study for you. As Leander gets engulfed, claws his way out, and then immediately gets engulfed and dragged back again.
You gotta repeat your,
Can only be verified if we can repeat the experiment. Does it hurt,
Right,
Leander? Get me out!
Right, I literally I got slammed down on, like it falls on top of me. I crawl out as I'm crawling away.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so you managed to swim out. Gilroy!
The untouched. The only reason I'm taking damage is because I stuck my own hands in there. An 11
11 hits the
firebolt on the big guy.
Yeah.
Is that yeah, okay, 6.
Okay. He is shaking, undulating, seems to be
My
just
God.
about to lose his form.
Jesus.
Which brings us to Erlon.
I'm just gonna shout, "We didn't sign up for this, Gilroy!" And I'm gonna slash the one in front of me again. And that's 10.
10 hits this guy.
10 damage.
Okay. Badly injured by that. Leander!
Dex saving throw?
Dex saving throw. He brought this upon himself.
7.
Please! Not again!
Gilroy's like, "This is just incredible."
You're
Okay.
gonna be taking 7 points of acid damage.
I think you know more than your friend now.
Yeah.
You're quite intimately familiar with how oozes work now. Erlon, that
Just
was
stared
launched
into the
out at
ooze,
you.
man.
I stared into the ooze, and the ooze stared
Roll
back.
6 damage.
6 damage?
Yep. That's the ooze's turn. Melee.
I'm not gonna go up to it. I'm just gonna go to the side, so I'm not shooting behind Gilroy. And I'm
Can I hit the ooze?
yeah, I'm gonna hit the ooze. And
Okay.
I was trying to figure out if I should help Erlon, but you seem to have that corridor
Oh, sure.
covered. You don't need me.
Yeah, he looks pretty confident there.
Yeah.
I don't see myself losing that fight.
No. I do. I could see myself losing this fight.
17.
17 hits that guy, yeah.
10.
Yes, he finally loses his shape. And, Leander, you find yourself just in the ground in a puddle of ooze as it just splooshes everywhere. Boom, done. And you are still alive, set free.
Probably just laying there like, oh my god, what the heck?
It is your turn, Leander.
I don't know what to say. I guess I'll... What, is there anything else down that hallway?
Shake it off.
Not that you can see, but that one ooze that Erlon is actively fighting.
I'll swing at that one.
Okay.
23.
Yes.
The only thing that's ever given me trouble, like this whole session, Leander's been like a badass, and then this ooze comes around and just continuously swallows him.
You're a tough guy.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. 6 damage.
6 damage. Still standing. Gilroy.
Alright, that's taken care of. Just mop up this guy. With a 12.
Yep.
Firebolt, of course. Seems to be effective.
Oh, yes.
4 damage.
That kills him. Oh. Erlon and Leander make a Constitution saving throw.
Natural 20.
Got it.
11.
11. Erlon, you'll be taking 2 points. Leander, you'll be taking 4. And the room seems to go quiet after that final ooze erupts. And yeah, you have the space to your right and the space further north, quote unquote.
Forward!
I hope Leander brushed some ooze off of him.
No, he's probably just walking around dripping in it. Just
Yeah?
like walking around like with these like bits of like just jello falling off it basically.
Alright,
Probably seething, honestly. Like
Yeah.
he's just
Erlon's been there, don't worry.
march your way forward. Let's just get the group as a whole. And make your way down on here, where you see the obvious trail of Nonagus's works as he rushed out from the back when the portal opened and the oozes started making their way in. He just dropped the paper trail right there. And you make your way on past all that and up into this way more natural-looking cabin system. And beyond there, you see, indeed, this table up here. It's Nonagus's original work table. It's covered in his writings, musings about the nature of the structure under the shrine. Besides these, there's a strange glowing pink ooze. It jiggles about, contained in a seemingly enchanted alchemical mortar. The table is also covered in various herbs. Anyone would like to make a nature check on those?
Got it. 16.
16! 2 of those herbs are known as dark root, very familiar to you. They come from your homeland. When brewed correctly, they can give you better vision at night. And another one is Shanti's hair.
Okay.
The herb that you had figured if you were to consecrate the shrine correctly, you should burn it at the shrine.
Okay.
And yeah, that ooze, the pink jiggling one, kind of hooked in from a mortar, seems to be the experiment that Nonagus was referring to that could potentially realign things.
Okay. There it is, I guess. Back to Nonagus.
Alright.
On the way there, I explained to Leander that this is the used to consecrate, and that I give it to you because I know
Yeah.
that's what you kind of wanted to do.
Yep. He
I
probably
mean-
realizes and thanks you for pointing it out to him.
You make your way back on down this way, and there is that space to the right. But would you prefer to
Oh,
just
on
go
the
straight to, or yeah.
No.
Would you prefer to just go straight to him?
I think Gilroy's intent on
Okay.
beelining it back to him.
Leander's intrigued.
I think I've had enough ooze for one day.
No, Leander's he's gonna walk over and take a look.
Are you?
Yeah, just down the hall though. He's like,
Alright. You walk on over this way. There, it seems to be pretty clear.
He's within shouting distance.
You gonna continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna grudgingly just drag my greatsword behind me and fall.
Right, you probably just see
Hurt
Leander,
himself.
like, looking around the other way, just like...
Alright, yeah, you guys kind of make your way further into this very much so a natural cavern as compared to the carvings out of the shrine. And you explore this system for a little bit before stumbling across something that is quite nice. This room up here.
Malian. I'll leave Malian Gilroy to have a talk. Woo! Leander, still like brushing slime off him, and like probably doesn't even notice Erlon like falling behind him to make sure he doesn't do something stupid, and then like comes across this. He's
So yeah, you find a
Strip
chest
back.
tucked away in the corner. It has about 250 gold pieces and a potion of acid resistance.
of course.
Well, we'll take this for Gilroy. I'm sure he'll want to study it.
That's it.
Yeah, except when you turn around.
No.
You guys, Erlon beat their initiative last time. Unless you'd like to roll a quick new initiative, we can just go Erlon oozes Leander.
We'll just do that.
Okay, Erlon, go ahead.
Yeah. So I heavy sigh, lift my greatsword for a mighty strike.
Yep,
19,
definitely.
and that is a 9 damage.
9 damage.
Do they hear the sound of my sword?
They hear the sound of battle, no doubt, yeah. He's going to lash out at you with a 13.
Hits.
It's
Just hits.
for 6 points of acid damage. Leander.
Not looking to that.
Me either. I'll move up and take a swing at him if I
Okay.
can. 13,
Yeah, that hits one of these guys.
5 damage.
5 damage.
Leander's gonna someday destroy the ooze plane.
It's becoming his goal. Erlon.
I'll attack again.
Alright. Bring it on.
Natural 1. Do we have advantage on it because we're both attacking?
I will.
No. Okay. Natural
I'm afraid not.
No.
Not in these quarters, yeah. It's gonna slash up at you with a natural 1. Nope. Leander.
Swing!
Take him down, Leander. Jesus.
Carnage.
The madness.
For 4 damage.
Oh, come on. Erlon, kill this thing.
Yeah. 13 natural.
I don't think there's a way you couldn't kill it with its 2 HP left.
Yeah.
Roll your Constitution save throws.
Unnatural 20.
Okay.
Jesus. 6.
You're gonna be taking 4 points of acid damage.
He is?
Yeah.
Take
you're gonna be
2.
taking, 2.
Okay.
I need to sleep after this.
Yeah, you owe me a heal.
And you guys,
Too lifeless.
Okay.
you won't
Still
be
mad.
healed.
Still mad.
So yeah, you guys managed to dispatch that last ooze that seemed to be just hiding in the corners up around here, and with that, you rejoin with the group,
Yeah.
who is awaiting
We
you.
took the gold, right?
Yes, yeah, you got the gold in the potion.
We look significantly more battered coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah. You watch these guys return.
I just hand this to you with no words. Just...
Oh, thank
Get
you.
mad.
I was gonna say, Erlen's probably mad at Leander, and Leander's just like,
I hate oozes.
You guys return to
it's not undead that I hate, it's oozes.
You also, I'm just going to drag Gilroy over here just for a second to show this off. This is the pool that these things seem to be spawning from,
Mhm.
and there is indeed within it few oozes just kind of swimming about, but they're much more docile in the water. They don't seem to be coming at you.
Right.
But otherwise, yeah, you guys return to Nonagus, and is it done?
It's done.
Oh.
Quite the predicament you have here, but it should be finished up. Here's your reagent.
Oh, wonderful. Perfect. This is the first step in making this usable anyway. And he takes it, the strange pink glowing undulating jelly, and sets it on his table, and gives you 2 potions. One is green and one is red. Says, Bull's strength, cat's grace. You know what they do.
Wonderful. Thank you. And remember, keep me posted.
Yes, I will
Give me the
send
credit.
arcane message if I manage to make any more advancements on this. Well done, Gilroy. I couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you very much.
Now then, I'd like you out of my hair. There's a lot of work to be done here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Remember, you are in a temple.
Oh, yes, best behavior, of course.
Good.
Alright. Anything more down here?
I think we're done down here.
Alright.
I just kind of swipe one of his papers on the ground on the way back. That's not against my alignment. I can do that. Give me a little petty.
Yeah. You pick up one of these heavily written upon in tiny scripts. All sorts of little graphs and arcane symbols and whatnot. It looks important. And you walk on out with that piece of paper.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, what would you like to do? It's pretty late in the evening now once you emerge.
I'll probably consecrate the shrine up
Sure.
above and
Burning the Shanti's hair. Alright, yeah, it gives off this greenish smoke that kind of just wafts through the place. There's a kind of sweet smell to it. Otherwise, it definitely feels like a ritual, not like it has any direct effect.
it does in my heart.
Yes. Alright, and where would you guys like to go from there?
Well, Gilroy would like to take the opportunity to thank you all for your help. That was very important to me. I have no use for these. Would anybody like them?
I'll take the strength.
I might need it.
Gives you advantage to not be sucked into oozes.
I'm gonna give you the sheet I swiped. You might, in case he doesn't give you credit for
Right,
it.
yeah, totally.
Have something.
Yeah, Gilroy
Even if
gets
it's
that
not
angle.
important.
For
That's
sure.
smart.
Yeah, alright. Thank you. That gives me some leverage. I hadn't considered that.
I don't want to have gone through all that for absolutely nothing.
And where would you guys like to go after you consecrate the shrine?
I was going to ask Leander, actually, do you think that Shanti would be upset if we were to rest here for the night?
No.
Okay.
Especially if we clean it up a little bit, take down these tents.
Move the bodies of the way. I want to bury the student. Because
Sure, absolutely.
That's
Definitely.
really crappy.
Yeah, so you guys, you can spend the evening there. It's been well cleared, and it goes by without much of a hitch in your bedrolls.
Cool.
And the morning sun arises you deep in the northern woods of Sarndar, and you feel that your work is well done here.
Beautiful.
No blue-eyed monsters trying to...
Not jumping out at you here.
All right. Well, I suppose,
Your gold awaits you at the Woodsman's Guild.
right. Well, you guys probably need arrows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I also distribute the gold from where we found.
Yeah.
Right.
250 divided by 4.
So I'll take us back
62 and a half.
to the
Yep.
top screen. Oh. So yeah, throughout the morning you make your way back down south out of the wilderness and back to Helmtop, where you are permitted in without much of a problem. and find yourself within the walls. Where would you like to go?
Let's go redeem our reward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get some money.
You enter on into the Woodsman's Guild, and yeah, just that stone floor, a cold space, but he looks up at you, and Theron, she felt like a weight was lifted off of her. I suspect that's because of you.
That'd be right. The gnolls are taken care of.
She's got great instinct, that one. And turns around and rummages through a chest for a bit, and 400 gold, as promised.
We'll put it to good use.
I hope so. And he seems very busy.
Shuffling papers around?
Yeah, Garen Brown, he sits back down, and another man walks in as you guys have collected up your gold, checked through it, made sure it was all there, and he seems to be cashing in on some local grizzly bears that needed killing, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Oh, do we take those first?
Yeah.
Did you take the first?
I would say that we would, because, I mean, it's going to help the town. Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Leander's more than strong enough to carry him back, to put him over the shoulder,
Mhm.
as well as Erlon. Both of you probably take a crate.
Yeah.
It's not much of a struggle. Yeah, so both of them were worth about 200. There is... you were looking for arrows, right?
Yes.
There is the Hunter's Exchange. You had noted a stall that had some arrows.
Yeah, I definitely saunter up that way.
All right.
I'm with him.
Boom.
Yeah, we got to see Zorn too, for sure.
That's true as well. So, throughout the light rain of the past few days, the center of the Hunter's Exchange has become a pit of mud. A few traveling merchants peruse what stalls remain, 3 in particular. One you had already noticed, marked as Liam Fletcher's arrows. Another one, marked as Radovan's pelts and furs. And finally, Eartha's herbs.
It's a perfect name for an herb
Isn't
seller.
it?
Herbs. Yeah. I probably head over to the hide. What was it? It was
It was Radovan's pelts and furs.
Radovan's pelts and furs.
That's
and,
probably where we're dropping off the...
Yep,
Yeah.
the elk skins.
Okay, so you head on over there, and as you approach this stall, you see a stack of furs from beavers to bears, and behind them appears a gruff-looking middle-aged halfling with bushy sideburns and unkempt hair. Yeah, what do you want?
Interested in these?
Furs for coin?
That's what I do. He set them on down. Pops them open with a little crowbar, and yep, looks good to me. Don't come bothering me again if it's not for furs. Throws you some gold.
Thanks.
Alright.
How much gold did he throw our way?
200.
200?
Yep. He pays fair, but he seems, definitely seems like he's in it for the business and he wants out of here.
Right. It's getting to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'd rather be selling first than
Exactly.
buying them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's fair.
All right. Anybody else have any business with
The Hunter's Exchange.
Get some arrows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, going over to the arrow.
Yeah, there's this young human. He has brown hair and a small nose, and he shouts out once he sees you, dropping off the crates and stuff, and particularly when he sees you, Melee. And he goes, top quality arrows, made by yours truly. And before you is a stone display with dwarvish runes on the bottom. There are various beautifully crafted wooden arrows, some of more exotic looking material, and even some with multiple heads that prong out. Greetings, traveler! Top quality merchandise. Take a look. And there's, before you see in this display, it's like you put a lot of work into this. The kid might be like 16 or something, but he's good at this craft. You can tell immediately. There are blue fletched arrows, green fletched arrows, red fletched arrows, two-headed arrows, and arrows that seem to have vine-like shafts.
And is he a dwarf? You said that there were like dwarf.
There was dwarven runes on them.
Because I can read dwarvish.
Oh, they say Tier stonework.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Tier is a free dwarvish stronghold in Sarangar, a home for them. It was an expedition by Carrad Morin to establish strongholds further out in Alaire, Eventually, it ended up being found that there is no gold in these hills, and it was semi-abandoned. The leading clans of Carrad Morin left, but the dwarves that remained managed to get a stronghold out of it. So it's known locally as the Bastion of Dwarves.
Okay.
Yeah, and he must have gathered up a good amount of money to be able to get a display like this.
What do the different colors mean on the arrows?
Well, I got a technique passed down from my dad, and well, he said it was something Gralter taught the free roamers, that ice giant from forever ago. And well, the blue ones are magical, and the green ones poisonous. The red ones can burst into flame. The two-headed ones actually shoot like you shot 2 arrows at once. And the vine ones cause vines to entangle your enemies. If any of those interest you.
How much? What are your prices for them?
15 for the blue, 25 apiece for the green, 75 apiece for the red, and 100 apiece for the two-headed or the vine.
How much for a normal arrow?
20 arrows is 10 gold. But these are fine!
I'm gonna grab a vine one.
Okay.
So that was what, 75?
It was 100.
100?
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll drop me down to 212.
Yeah, it casts entangling vines with a 10-foot radius focused on your target with a DC 12 Constitution or Strength saving throw.
And it's just one arrow.
Yeah,
that,
it's just
right?
one for
Yeah.
100
Oh, that makes
with
sense.
that, but yeah. And what about you, my lady?
I'm thinking.
Take your time. Sits on back in the light rain. He's carving away at an arrow shaft at the moment, and you see that once he has it smooth enough, he starts to put in little symbols and runes on it and carves them out in such a way. You figure that's what imbues the magic, but you don't really know the technique.
Right. I bought 20 arrows, so.
Sure, yeah.
I'm buying 4 of the poison arrows,
Okay.
and then 60 of the regular. I don't know,
Right.
can I carry 60 arrows? Does that make
Sure,
sense?
I mean, yeah, you don't have them all in your quiver at
Yeah.
once, but you do have them on you.
You don't get packs.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 green fletched poison arrows. On hit, well, I'll remember this, but on hit, it causes me to take a Constitution DC 12 saving throw or be poisoned, which is damn effective.
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
I probably missed, but what do the blue ones do again? Are they?
They're just, they're magical.
Oh, okay, cool.
They will fly straighter and hit targets that are usually resistant to such piercing damage as your average arrow.
Gotcha.
Anything more down at the Hunter's Exchange?
I'll get one of those magic ones too.
Sure.
That was what, 20?
15 for the blue fletched.
Eartha's herbs.
Earthless herbs.
All right.
As you approach the stall, you see a young half-elven woman. She's dressed in dirty white commoner's clothes, and she has long brown hair and a bright smile. Her stall is completely covered in herbs and roots of various different shapes and colors. Some are planted and some are drying, hung up. She gives you a kind wave as you approach. Greetings! What can I do for you?
I'm just browsing, and Leander probably looks around and puts his hand on his chin, but he doesn't really know.
Are you familiar with the local herbs?
Yeah.
Really? Roll a deception check.
11.
What's this one called? And she picks up one. It's got thick, fuzzy leaves.
Mint leaf.
Bitter leaf. That's pretty close, though. Maybe you know the southern varieties. Do you want me to tell you which ones are useful for adventurers, or?
That'd be helpful.
All right. And she kind of gives you she is passionate about this. It gives you like a quick schooling. This is Shanti's hair. You can tell because it's yellow with the long, thin grass-like strands. And this is Bitterleaf. You knew that, though. And these are red bush berries and dried earth root. And all of these can be quite useful.
Well, geez, now I'm interested. And, Leonard's probably asking a bunch of questions about...
Sure, yeah, Shanti's hair, when brewed correctly, you get plus 1d4 temporary HP when you drink it. Bitterleaf, when brewed correctly, you get resistance versus poison for 10 minutes. Red bush berries, when consumed, a long rest takes half as much time. Dried earth root, when brewed, gain dark vision 60 feet for 1 hour.
What about those berries?
The red bush berries?
Yeah.
Yes, they're a bit invigorating, actually.
How much do you want?
30 gold a bushel.
I suppose I'll take 4.
There you have them. She packs them up. She actually wraps them up nice in these dried leaves and stuff and hands them on over to you. It's like a nice little salt she's got going on. Anything more, the Fletcher?
We covered everything, right? There's the fur, the...
Yep, the fur, grab your arrows, stocked up on some magic ones, grab some herbs, and yeah, you guys feel a bit more well-provisioned. What would you like to do now?
Zorn.
Head over to
Right.
Zorn.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Erlon did not forget.
No.
Let him be clear.
Back to... What's the name of this place? Galloping? No.
The Gleeful Lily.
Yes, the Gleeful Lily. Still within there, you see, yeah, most of the regiment taking it easy, eating away at chicken and stuff. Though Captain Talir comes out of his bedroom and begins to kind of whip him into shape and says, "We got time to train, then you're training." And he kind of just starts whipping them out and knocking over their drinks and stuff, and sends them out into the stables where they're going to do some sparring. And Zorn and Ulrich Gray and Bilberry stand up to go do so and see your approach.
Zorn,
Yes.
a word. So I pull him aside.
Oh,
Found your book.
thank you so much. I'll make it up to you somehow. I don't really know how yet, but I will.
I trust you will. The magics in this book are quite powerful.
I studied for a good amount of time before I escaped.
It was amazing. We make it south. I want you to know I could put in a good word for you at a certain school.
I'd consider it, in the least. Thank you, friend. He gives you a pat on the shoulder. And as he walks past you, he grabs you, Leander. And everyone else is kind of shuffling on out of the Gleeful Lily. But he takes you and... caps lock, it's so shit. He takes you... Come on. There we go. Jeez. Outside and by the horses. And with this, as the rest of the battalion is making their way out, Chantel, what are you doing there? You're way far south.
No, what are you talking about? She's right in front of the... We walked past
You're
her.
days south. Oh, this kid's in the way. He goes,
Everybody get out of here!
yeah, scram!
Sorg talk.
He looks towards you with kind of saddened eyes and says, You're a holy man, Leander. You know many of our people live our lives in pain. What gives you the strength?
I suppose knowing that there's something greater to look forward to, and Torm's always with us, watching and giving us the strength to help others, and
Do you think he would forgive me for what I've done? My escape. I did not put them to sleep. I incinerated my masters. I feel guilt. My trek north, I was racked with pain. They were the only family I knew, but was freedom worth the cost? Am I a good man?
There's always time to make things right. And right now you have a good duty. A time of strife to push forward and help these people. They don't always have to be stuck in this town for months until the orcs go away. What's in your book, I'm sure could save tens of dozens of lives. Do that.
So it shall be. And he stands up straight after that confession and says, on the battlefield, you will see some magics. And walks away with the rest of the battalion. Cool. Anything else from you guys at the guild? The Gleeful?
Not for tonight.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to do in this session? You do see Reharit and Lyra.
We'll get your wine, you conjurers.
For now, we're in the stables.
Fine. Please hurry, though. Zelryan looks up from his table. He's been drinking all night. And he goes, I am off. And runs out the door. At the idea of you going after the wine, he said he would be there.
Alright.
I guess we better follow him next time.
I was gonna say.
Alright. Yeah, so he runs out of town and makes his way up the western gateway.
Mm-hmm.
We take our time.
Yeah. You find yourself searching the southern road outside of town, the eastern gateway, glancing about the ground and the roadside, looking for evidence of where the missing wagon may have gone. And you can roll investigation or survival or perception or whatever you feel is appropriate.
I don't know too much.
20.
20.
Nice.
I roll survival.
Doesn't matter. I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 13.
Okay. What'd you get, Leander?
8.
Okay, Gilroy. After about an hour of walking down the road, Zelryan talking your ear off about how he can't wait for what's about to happen, and you see a glint in a bush off the side of the road. A quick.
I suppose I'll take a look.
All right. You find where a heavy wagon appears to have suddenly veered off the road downhill towards a small stream, as well as a bottle of red wine laying in the tall grass. The label reads in Elvish. You read Elvish?
Not currently.
You do
do.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
So you peek over at Gilroy's head what he has going on, and it says Genevol Estate, Venra. Venra was the wine town referenced before. And after searching for another moment, you come across footprints beside the stream, leading to a nearby cave. The entrance certainly large enough for a sizable wagon. And what is going on there?
Are we continuing
It's
tonight?
a little bit different than you think.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you see Zelryan and you guys, and as you approach, he quickly jumps behind you and says, you seem to have found the way. Well done, compatriots, friends. I'm so glad you could take me on this journey, and now that cave better not be filled with death.
No doubt it will be. You know,
Stay behind you.
wagons don't just go veering off the road on their own. Surely it's some sort of... maybe an ogre or a... Edin or giant or something? What do you think?
Not sure.
Wait, you could take them.
Sincerely hope it's not that. And,
Are you sure you don't want to go?
and you see him very nervous. He's like, I'm going in. I'll be with you, yes.
Stick right
Yes.
behind me. Come on.
Brave and valiant as ever, I entered the cave. He begins self-narrating. And you guys, yeah, you make your way on forward into this cave, and you hear many voices from inside that cave, human voices. After we're through partying the night away, I say we head on back to River's End. Share a drink with Sibelius. It's more than enough to go around. Another voice responds, aye, that's right. And then the Manticore will share us with gold and women. For all this wine, especially with the way Farrenwell's got their eyes set on Venra. No good wine for Northern Sarengar, it seems. As if this country could get any shittier. You know, I wonder if Sibelius ever met the Manticore. I don't think I know anyone who has. Yet here we are, the gold keeps flowing in like wine, and nobody's stopping us. Another round, boys. And, there are cheers. The cheers of about 10 men, it seems, echo out from the cavern. And, yeah, the initial tunnel is very well lit as you approach. Torches line the smooth walls, and a man sits up this way. And he goes, as he sees you approach, he goes, intruders! Or, maybe... Adrian, who are these people? And how would you guys like to be positioned?
I think we'll have to position and call it there.
Not much more to this.
Okay.
I suppose,
I mean, I'll be at the front, as per usual.
Okay.
then with me and...
With you moving up, and
Yep.
so Ryan,
Yep.
or
Tap Zell Ryan on the back and kind of push him forward in front of me. You got this.
All right.
You're fine.
And you guys make your way on forward.
Mhm.
A younger man begins to walk on down the hall. He's dressed in black leather. He's wearing the symbol of a lion-like creature. He's got a green bandana down around his neck, and shorter dark hair with multiple knives and daggers in his boots, belt, and hands. And local do-gooders, it seems. He points a dagger in your direction and goes, come on, have a seat. Let's have a drink. He turns around and begins guiding you this way.
Alright. Tanner will follow him.
Okay.
I have my
So
hand on my
Ryan,
sword.
yeah. So Ryan looks at you and goes, don't seem very trustworthy.
Oh, come on now.
You end
Definitely not.
up making your way
Out of curiosity, is Silas out and floating around, or is he in your robe?
Yeah, that's good. Good point. I think, yeah, he's out.
and this is the scene that you guys have as you enter this room. You are utterly surrounded. Inside the main cavern, you see a group of men wearing leather armor, each with a bottle in hand. Weapons are laying about them, gleaming in the light of a crackling fire. The symbol of a lion-like creature, a manticore, imprinted on each of their backs. Behind them sits a wagon completely filled with dark wooden barrels and bottles. The driver bound and gagged. Though he seems to, even he seems to have a bottle and some half-eaten food on the ground lying next to him. And the gentleman who guided you in here with the black leather, he sits down at this table with parchment and gold in front of him. It seems like he's keeping tally of this stuff. And he looks up at you and goes, Adrian Liverton, nice to meet you.
We're just here for the wine.
Yeah, I'm not giving him my name.
Really? That much of a do-gooder. Here for our wine. You know, it was quite a journey to get that wine from the river's end, and I've been enjoying it. It's gonna be hard to let it go.
That is a shame.
Yeah. Quit
So-
while you're ahead and just enjoy the good time.
Yeah, we don't
you
have
had.
the map, so we don't really have
Yeah.
any frame
Oh.
of reference.
Oh, it was not revealed.
No, it was not.
This is what you're surrounded by.
Oh, okay.
We can tell.
My mistake.
I'll just leave Sel Ryan in there. He's got this.
Yeah, he's totally got it.
He's fine.
Let me just make sure everything is revealed. Boom. There we go. Yeah, that is the scene. That is how many men you are surrounded by.
Right.
Looks like 20. He goes, well then, maybe we can negotiate. I'm pretty good for that. He leans on in. We're looking for someone. He's more important than this wine. This has been enjoyable for us, but we actually have a mission here for the Manticore. If you're unfamiliar, he's an important man who doesn't like to be disappointed. We're looking for a halfling. Bilberry's his name. He stole something very important from us.
I'm going to take Zel Ryan and push him closer to like the opening, so that
Okay.
he doesn't start talking.
Sure. All right.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that's something I
He's
can
about to
kind
speak
of
up.
do.
And yeah, you just go like, and you push him on back. You know.
Yeah.
So then, what we're looking for is a golden amulet. It's got an inlaid emerald with a draconic rune on it. It's very important to us. It's in Bilberry's possession, so I've heard.
What makes this amulet so important?
Sevelius, our chapter leader, had quite an investment in that amulet. No, it's not particularly magical, it's just important to him. And, well, it was important enough to send about 20 of his men into this godforsaken country to retrieve it. So, we'd very much so like to see it, and, just so happens we're not as welcome in Helmtop as you. Perhaps you could find Bilberry and deliver him to us? For the wine? We'll take your word for it.
We will look for this Bilberry, but
He shouldn't be hard to find, honestly.
Do you need him or just the amulet?
Either or would do, but, well, Sevelius, he lives in River's End. It's a few hundred miles south of here, but he'll be the one you report to. We'll be out of town by then. And, well, I'm sure there would be quite the bonus in it if you brought Bilberry to him.
I'll have to think this over.
You want the wine? He hands out, he puts out his hand and goes, make the agreement. Bilberry, the amulet, you get the wine.
I'm not handing in people to a group of mercenaries. I'll talk to him myself.
Spins a dagger in his hand and slams it into the table, and he goes, you will bring us Bilberry. I'm starting to begin to think I should rescind the other side of our deal.
Okay, I'll bring Bilberry to you.
Sevelius, a half-orc. You'll see him in the town further south. Loten is its name. Report to him.
We'll see.
We will. Now another round, he goes, and everyone cheers and drinks from their bottles. And, well, friends, I'm sorry to see it go, but, we're gonna have to head back to River's End and buy our own wine. It seems like we got someone else doing our dirty work for us now. And he begins to pack it all up. And, he even cuts loose the driver, the cart driver, who, immediately, thank you, and, let's get going. And he hops up on the wagon, and they hitch back the mules onto it, and the folks around you, all with this lion-like symbol on this dark leather. They have these boiled leather chest plates. They have cudgels and stuff, and they are very menacingly watching you as you take that out. And he goes, the Midnight Court will not forget this, nor will Sibelius, nor will the Manticore. Till we meet again, friends! And he gives you a bow as you begin to make your way out of that cave with the wine in tow. As you make your way back to town, because the rest of them, the two biggest brutes he has, block the way back in as you begin to make your way out. And definitely do not look happy about it. And as you make your way back to town, Ryan goes, what was that? Come on! I want the adventure. There's a beast, right? There's a beast.
Yes.
That will do. I will be there for the beast.
Okay.
And 600 gold or something. I'll have it ready. Adventure, please, next time.
We'll do our best.
Sure.
And you guys journey on back to Helmtop. You have retrieved the wine. Huzzah! Well done. Seems, though, that you've gotten yourself caught up owing a favor to some rather unseemly people. Make your way back to Helmtop. There's a cheer as you approach the gleeful Lily and drop off their shipment of wine. Reharit and Lyra come running out and give you a quick little bow. And Reharit goes, "Thank you very much. This is perfect. I think we'll do quite well with what remains of the shipment anyway. And yes, your battalion may have rooms. Well done." And he begins immediately just stocking that stuff, and he turns as he's writing down and goes, "And complimentary rooms for you as well. Your reward awaits you." And I threw an extra 50 gold in. So you go to the Woodsman's Guild, get your 800 gold reward for retrieving the wine.
Right.
And anything more you guys would like to do before we call it?
No.
I think that's it.
All set. Yeah, you retire for the evening at the Gleeful Lily, the blue-eyed beast, the only challenge left in your way to ridding Helmtop of all its troubles. Until the orcs arrive.
Right.
Till the massive orc battle, of course.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. I know that we went a little bit longer than anticipated, but thank you very much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed episode 2 of the Lands of Alaire. We will be here every Sunday, as long as this seems, the rig seems stable enough. Any other closing remarks, anyone?
Yes, we film this live at our comic and game shop, the Freakopolis Geekery in Whitehall, New York. We're open 5 days a week. You can find us on Facebook, Freakopolis.com, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, we're all over the place, so you can find us there. And swing by in person, say hello. Love to see you. It's often Ian and I behind the counter.
Absolutely.
Or, yeah, send us a message around and see what we can do for you. Also want to thank Joined by Gaming.
Yes, absolutely.
Tori and Aaron.
Tori and Aaron of Joined by Gaming. You can check out their stuff anywhere you want to plug that, or
Yeah, Facebook.com/joinedbygaming and Instagram it's joinedbygaming.
All right, yeah, you can check that out. They do a bunch of awesome charity work for children's hospitals and the like. It's always worth putting your heart into that kind of stuff. So definitely look at the work they do. And
also want to shout out to Dad, Troy,
yes, of course,
for running all the technical.
Father, who puts so much work into making this show happen. It couldn't be possible without him, and we are very much so appreciative of it. And to all you in the audience, thank you for hanging around. If you didn't catch the whole thing, it will be up on YouTube tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll make it work that way. And hope you have a good night. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Yeah.